whoops, I'm sharing the other screen. Okay, I'll share this tab.
Oh, yeah, I don't see anything on live yet.
Okay, yeah, we're live now. I got it live now. All right, we're live. Can you guys all hear me? Can
Maybe I
hear
need to
us or
refresh.
can I'll have to mute this thing. It should be fine.
Mine still says waiting for Math Easy Solutions.
Well, it just takes a while to connect. So it says I'm live. I'm gonna
Oh,
start recording. Okay, okay, and recording. Okay, so it's recording as well. All right, I'm live. Can you all hear me? You're supposed to be up. I'll get it going. Okay, yes, we're supposed to be up. Can you guys hear us? I'm gonna play this. I'll start recording. Okay, I can hear myself. How's the audio, guys? Is it good? Too loud? Not loud enough?
as well. All right, I'm live.
Okay, so mute yourself if you're. I can hear myself on your audio. I think you need to mute the.
Can you guys hear us? I'm gonna play this. Okay.
Yeah, Meth, you have to mute the.
Okay, I can hear myself. How's it?
Yeah, so now I can. Yeah, now you're not being recorded. All right, sound is good. Let us know if the sound's messed up or not, and so on. So I'm going to go through some housekeeping, and actually I gotta share the full thing. Present something else. The window. Okay, I'll present the window stream. Okay, we are good to go. All right, guys. So yeah, Methyl Miner's in the house. I'm just gonna go over some housekeeping, and we'll introduce Methyl Miner. Yeah, so Methyl Miner joins the show to discuss his research into the possibility of a hollow or gas-filled core Earth that is constantly increasing in size, both in volume and mass. So that's gonna be a pretty epic video. There's a thumbnail. It's quite interesting stuff there. And guys, as always, there's MES links. I have links to everything there. You can put the drop down, and then you can see a bunch of stuff. There's 9/11 Truth and a whole bunch of other stuff, and MH370, and so on. So there's MES links. Links to everything will be there. And then also become a super fan, guys. And it's $15 a month, Canadian, or $3 American. And become a super fan. You get a bunch of emojis and so on. And donate in other ways as well: crypto, PayPal, super chats, and so on. And as always, I'm gonna go to the Telegram. Okay, there's the my MES links Telegrams where I post everything there first. I'll just open this up and then web.telegram. And okay, and yeah, Christoph's in the house. Hi everyone, promising screen. All right, so that's the housekeeping, and there's a link to all the links, guys, is all right here. And yeah, I just wanted to go to the next setup here. Yeah, so math lab bust. So it's Methyl Miners in the house, and yeah, and meth and math are in the house. So here's a cool meme. 5 arrested in math lab bust. They made a typo. It's supposed to be meth. Anyways, guys, that's enough of me rambling. And yeah, now without further ado, Methyl Miner, a frequent guest on the live stream in the chat, is out here. And to discuss his research as well as covering Andrew Johnson's book, The Earth But Not As We Know It. And yeah, there's Meth right here. And do you want to chime in, Meth, and introduce yourself and so on?
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you guys all hear him? I think they can, yeah. Can you guys hear him? Just type in the chat if you can. And I'll stop presenting my screen so we can see your screen. I think they can.
Okay, so I think I'm going to start just by Andrew Johnson made a preview of his book that I'm going to play before I kind of dive in and go through each chapter and kind of the expansion of the research. Like he usually lists a lot of links and sources that are videos, so I'm just kind of going to go through what I found, and after reading it, kind of the evidence that Earth is definitely expanding, and then some theories on related to if it being hollow or not. So let me so how do I make the video full screen instead of just
you can zoom in. Is there, because audio's not working on it. I can't hear audio. Is it supposed to be audio or no?
Yeah, there's a song.
It's probably better that the song's not to get the no copyright. You can zoom in with your, yeah, you can make it full screen. Yeah, okay, it's full screen on our end. Yeah, so you can play it.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks good on the stream. Yeah, it plays too.
Okay.
Yeah, audio's good.
All right.
Epic stuff.
All right. Yeah. So I went over kind of all the topics that I'm going to try to go through. So if we now open the book, The Earth But Not As We Know It, an exploration, and kind of go through the first chapter. So go to my notes.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one was kind of stories of a hollow earth, and there's been two expeditions that have kind of sold tickets on this expedition to kind of travel to the North Pole, thinking there's a huge hole there that they're going to find some sort of like secret passageway into a hollow earth. And this has kind of been around for a while in folklore and sort of just kind of stories for, it's been around way longer than flat earth. But this one guy, this one right here, this Voyage Hollow Earth, the one guy died suspiciously kind of before they could end up going. And then there's another guy who arranged one kind of right after him, sold tickets, but then I think he kind of figured out that there's going to be no hole in the front or at the North Pole, and then kind of hasn't like talked about it since, which I'll kind of go through a little bit later on in the presentation. But so if we go through his book.
And if you want to zoom in as well instead of 2 pages, just to make it easier for the viewers.
Okay.
Make it so that it's 1 page instead of...
Yep, so I will do...
Yeah, and then you can zoom in as well if you want to... Oh, you rotated it accidentally. Yeah, so yeah, this is a good size.
All right.
This is good.
So let me go to where... So the stories of a hollow earth, I go to my agenda. So there's this one story that he covers called the Smoky God, which is supposed to be sort of a true story of these people who traveled into Hollow Earth and had like this great grand adventure. So if I go to, it's called Olaf Jansen, and supposedly these people traveled to the inner of the earth through some sort of cave system, or through like a hole, and then they came up one day and started telling people that like they were green almost, and like had a whole bunch of like stories of being at the center of the earth. And then a lot of Hollow Earth before, like folklore, includes the concept of an inner sun illuminating the earth, and then when it illuminates the earth from the inside, there was supposed to be a huge sort of like hidden society in the earth of what is it like of like these people who would with a lesser gravity that would support like giantism. There's supposed to be really large people underground, and you'd have this huge plane of view from being sort of like if you think about how we have a horizon, and then they would have like kind of the opposite of a horizon. They would see upward, and they would have like this huge plane of view with giant plants and stuff like that. So a lot of the people who subscribe to the Hollow Earth theory still think there's a sun at the center, and then that's kind of what the auroras are on the that are coming out of the poles. Like they're not from the sun kind of going through our atmosphere. They're from the inner sun coming out of the poles. So I have back in my notes, I have a so here's kind of like one of the auroras that people have at the holes at the bases. No, hold on.
Are those actual photographs from NASA? Those right there.
These right here are from. They're from this.
So I can.
They're from this. What is it? They're from the Santa Photo Gallery.
Okay.
Spin scan auroral imaging.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it does look. It's official. Okay, it's pretty cool.
And so these kind of show auroras kind of around the poles, which would be sort of what leads people to believe that there's some sort of sun illuminating from our center through these holes. Which there's another actual image too that people share a lot on. Where is it? It's going to come up in the book as we go through it. Go back to the book. Well, it'll come up in the book when we come to that part. But as far as the, I have a video that goes over kind of some of the theories and kind of folklore from Hollow Earth, and that is this video right here.
Hey guys, it's Mikey Chen. When you think of the center of the Earth, you
where's the video playing? Okay, put it there.
Diagram from your height.
You want to start it again because it was playing what wasn't being shown.
Yeah. So this one is this guy right here, kind of discussing Hollow Earth. It's called 6 Clues That the Earth is Actually Hollow. But some of the stories are evidenced, but some of them are kind of the folklore associated with Hollow Earth, and kind of goes over the Smoky God story.
Think of the center of the Earth, you.
It's a bit glitching. It's not playing. Or it's playing, but it's not doing anything. Is that yours? Or did you freeze up, or am I frozen?
Do I need to mute my microphone when I play it, or just not talk?
No, it's fine. I'm just saying it wasn't playing any audio, or it was just it seems to be frozen.
Hey guys, it's Mikey Chen. When you think
Is
of
it moving
the
now?
center of the
Yeah,
Earth,
it's moving, and then it just stopped. Okay.
diagram from your high school science textbook showing a cross-section of the Earth's layers, like those of an onion. The crust, the upper mantle, the lower mantle, the outer core, and the inner core. But actually establishing and determining a factual geophysical model of planet Earth's interior has been a considerable challenge. Given our rapid technological advancements, one would think that determining the makeup of the Earth's core would be something simple, but it's not, as the Earth's core is the most inaccessible part of our planet, and we have only penetrated about 8 miles out of the approximate 4,000 that it takes to reach the core. Now, this video topic has been suggested to me a lot, and to be honest, this was my first time really researching and looking into the theory that the Earth could be hollow. Of course, the hollow Earth theory isn't a new thing. Its existence has been proposed throughout human history. So in this video, I've collected some clues that could indicate that the hollow Earth theory may have some merit. And as always, I encourage everyone just to keep an open mind and judge for yourselves. Number 1, a vast ocean inside the Earth. In 2014, University of Alberta professor Graham Pearson led an international team of scientists in analyzing a cheap diamond that yielded some priceless insights. His team paid about $20 for a diamond found by artisan miners in the Juína area of Mato Grosso, Brazil in 2008. Inside the brownish diamond, they accidentally found a mineral called ringwoodite while looking for a different mineral. Ringwoodite had been found in meteorites before, but this was the first time it was found in the Earth. The reason finding ringwoodite was so significant was because water was trapped inside it, and a significant amount, about 1.5% of its weight, and it was formed about 250 to 350 miles below the planet's surface in the so-called transition zone between the upper and lower mantle. The diamond had been brought to the Earth's surface by a volcanic rock known as kimberlite, the most deeply derived of all volcanic rocks, and according to Dr. Pearson, this sample really provides extremely strong confirmation that there are local wet spots deep in the Earth in this area. That particular zone in the Earth, the transition zone, might have as much water as all the world's oceans put together. Now, you may think that people who believed in the hollow Earth theory were all French scientists, but that's not the case, which brings us to number 2 on our list, Edmond Halley. If this name sounds familiar to you, well, it should. Edmund Halley was an English scientist who is best known for predicting the orbit of the comet that was later named after him. Halley noticed that the Earth's magnetic field is rather unpredictable, with its lines shifting from year to year, and Halley believes that the Earth's hollowness is to blame. According to Halley, we're standing on the outermost shell with 3 more concentric shells within, and it's the poles of these inner shells that throw off our magnetic field. He suggested that each sphere was capable of supporting life because each sphere was bathed with light from the atmosphere that filled each of the inner spaces. Number 3, Leonhard Euler. Leonhard Euler was a Swiss mathematician and physicist. He has produced a large portion of modern mathematical terminology and notion, more specifically the notion of mathematical function. He is considered to be one of the greatest mathematicians of all time. It has approximately 1,000 publications. Euler also believed the Earth was hollow and proposed that Earth was not only completely hollow, but it had a 600-mile diameter sun in the center. The hollow interior, he said, could be reached through holes at the north and south poles. Euler also proposed that this central sun provided life to the advanced civilizations that lived there. Number 4, Navy Admiral Richard Byrd. The hollow Earth theory garnered more momentum in the 1940s when Admiral Richard Byrd supposedly journeyed into the Earth. Byrd was a Medal of Honor recipient, one of the highest-ranking officer in the U.S. Navy, and he was the first person to fly over the South Pole. Byrd recounted that when he flew directly over the North Pole, he noticed an opening in the top. His diary describes his adventure into the opening where he saw lakes, rivers, green vegetation, and even a living mammoth. Byrd claims to have been greeted by a flying machine and says this was when he first interacted with beings that existed in a place that is known to many as Agartha. Byrd said that the beings told him they were concerned with the developments of nuclear weapons and the overall well-being of the planet based on how humanity was affecting it. Number 5, the Green Children of Woolpit. The Children of Woolpit is an ancient account recorded by 2 12th century chroniclers which tells of 2 children that appeared on the edge of a field in the village of Woolpit in England. The two children, a young girl and a young boy, had greenish skin. Their clothes were made from unfamiliar materials and they spoke an unknown language. The children would not eat any food presented to them but appeared starving. Eventually, the villagers brought recently harvested beans, which the children devoured. They survived only on beans for many months until they acquired a taste for bread. Later, the children became sick and the boy died, but the girl recovered and over the years came to learn English, and eventually her greenish skin color faded away. She later relayed the story of their origins, saying they came from a place known as St. Martin's Land, which had no sun but existed in an atmosphere of permanent twilight, and where the people lived underground and were green like them. She said her and her brother were looking after her father's flock when they came upon a cave. They entered the cave and wandered through the darkness for a long time until they came out the other side, entering into bright sunlight which they never seen before. It was then that they were found by the villagers. While some view the story as nothing more than a folk tale that describes an imaginary encounter with inhabitants of another world beneath our feet, or even aliens, others accept it as a real but somewhat altered account of a historical event that merits further investigation. In addition to these 5 clues, there are myths and legends from all around the world that seem to indicate the existence of a world inside the earth. For example, the Makushi Indians are indigenous people who live in the Amazon. According to their legends, they are the descendants of the sun's children, the creator of fire and disease, and the protectors of the inner earth. Their oral legends speak of an entrance into earth, and until the year 1907, the Makushi would enter some sort of cavern and travel from 13 to 15 days until they reached the interior, a whole separate world where giants live. Another interesting piece of information I found floating out there was a supposed map created by the Nazis that shows several secret passages which were used by German U-boats to access mysterious underground regions, and a letter from a Nazi U-boat crew member named Karl Unger, who wrote letters stating that the crew had reached the interior of the Earth and that they did not consider coming back. But I couldn't find much information about these claims, and I can't verify whether these are real or not, so I just wanted to quickly mention them here. You know, before doing this video, I actually thought that we knew a lot about the Earth and what's inside it. I think I felt this way because I do remember in school, in science class, seeing that picture of the Earth's layers. I really didn't know that we knew so little about what's actually under our feet, and it's a good reminder that scientific theories are often repeated and summarized so much that we sometimes forget that they are merely theories. And that's why it's so important to keep an open mind about things, because there's so much we don't know about space, about our planet, about what's inside our oceans, and even about us. So let me hear your thoughts. Do you buy into the Hollow Earth theory? Thank you all so much for watching.
Yeah. Interesting
Okay,
stuff.
so
I want to just chime in. That Smoky God story that I remember now because I remember reading Andrew Johnson's book like years ago. And it involves the main character Jansen. So he was he saw a UFO or a flying device that was using gyroscopes to like levitate or whatnot. Do you remember?
right.
Yeah. So.
Well, I have the he goes through all these images with the Smoky God story. Let me go back to.
Yeah, it was in there. Yeah, so you could search up wheel and then you'll find it.
Yeah.
Oh, there, yeah, this one here. Then he just talks about it, and yeah, he highlighted the part where they're talking about spinning wheels, flywheels.
Right.
Yeah, because definitely something to flywheels.
So it's good to kind of show the images from the story because they were. I can go through and show them all real quick. Most people highlight the images from the story, like the site, but they're claiming the story as fact, which I think it was. There were so many stories of Hollow Earth before that people kind of harnessed that and created stories to sell books. You know, like I don't think that the story has that much merit, but it is a popular one that most people, when they first start researching, Hollow Earth, this is one of the first things they see, as well as the satellite images that look like there's a huge hole in the poles, which come kind of, I think, in the next chapter. So if we go to the next chapter, use page up and down.
Yeah.
To kind of see. Yeah, so this one is the holes that basically, this is the next chapter. So people think that there's a huge hole right at the North
you zoom
Pole.
in, sorry, just if you can zoom in just so they can see.
Yep.
Yeah, so this or a bit bigger, up to you. It's fine. No, this is fine. This is fine. I think.
So we go through this. There's a book called World Top Secret, Our Earth is Hollow, that is convinced that there's holes right at the North Pole and South Pole at specific coordinates even. And that's where our electromagnetic field kind of feeds into, that there's some sort of inner sun in our Earth that, kind of, if you look at the electromagnetic field of Earth, it would all kind of feed into some sort of hole that they think is at the North Pole and South Pole. So if we pull up the World Top Secret book, they have they kind of go through the same, this is kind of like the same as Andrew Johnson's book, but it goes through just the hollow earth parts. But if you go to, this is the coordinates that he thinks. It's located at 84.4 degrees north and south latitude, are polar openings that lead into a hollow interior of our planet where the lost 10 tribes of Israel today dwell in perfect harmony, with lifespans equal to those
Methyl,
whose only desire is to live in peace. Their flying saucers in defense of their country at times are seen on our surface world. They don't come to destroy, they are waiting for us to discover that the world peace is the only answer, not without God, but with him. We must prepare for their return. See the evidence, look at the possibilities, consider those who have gone there. Will you discover truths that have been hidden from the foundations of the world?
Oh wow, this is some Project Bluebeam type.
Type
narrative.
So it's sort of similar to sort of the flat Earth theory, but there's more science to it. Like people have. It actually would make more sense that this could be a possibility, even though I think it's not. But I can see why people did think this for a long time. And this is, if I can zoom in here, this is sort of like their map, that they think that there's a central sun where there's the 84.4 degree north polar opening, and then they have the south polar opening too. And there's a central sun and the magnetic axis, and then how Earth rotates, and sort of interesting to kind of see it an alternate way that people think the Earth is. But having a huge space in here with only a shell outside seems kind of an essential sun. I guess it could be possible, but I don't think so, because I don't think there's a huge hole at the north and south polar opening. But this is what kind of the openings at the poles sort of leads people to.
Yeah.
And then if you go back to his book, and we continue on holes and bases at the poles. So these are some of the first, if you research Hollow Earth, these are some of the first satellite images that come up. And it kind of looks like there's a huge hole at the pole from these images. This is from, you can pull it up, the ESSA 3 and the ESSA 7. And it looks like there's a huge hole at the basis. These were back in the 60s, I believe. One was from 1967 and one is from 1968. But there's, if you look at these images, there's no way that all of the surrounding ones could be illuminated at the same time. So these are actually a composite image of everything that the satellite took, and they just didn't include the center for some reason. So these are actually not a live satellite images of the Earth. It was a composite sort of compiled together of the Earth back in the 60s. But these are some of the first images people saw of the planet from space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I saw this part here because a lot of people they push easily like debunkable claims like if there's a hole that big, it should be visible from like many different angles.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there could be, and it's like frozen now, but I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
There's
That's an interesting take. Yeah.
Because there's water at the North Pole where it could be frozen over. There could be a void there that has been frozen over by water, but I don't think so that's the case either. So he goes on to study the images, and I think he just proves that there's so surely there's an evidence of entrance to their hollow Earth or whatever. No, this is he goes on to say it's a composite.
Mm-hmm.
So, true North Pole images, he goes on. And when I looked at this image, it didn't look like it's a live image due to it's hard to send a satellite over the poles. So if you look at live satellites, there's not a lot of satellites going straight over the North and South Pole. Which kind of leads people to believe that there's a hole there, because otherwise, if there's no gravity, it would fall into the hole. And then some people think that, there's this advanced civilization that has the few satellites of devices that are flying over the poles that figured out how to do it. So if you look up live satellites, I guess I could do that right now. There's like a way to see all the stuff in space, right? There's like a site that has of all the satellites and stuff in the air. Live feed of satellites. This isn't it. There was a website that I went to one time where they had a live look at all of the stuff in space, and you can see all of the. Forget the name of it.
All right, yeah, we could look at it the next time, or I'll look at it. I'll look for it in the
All right.
meantime.
I'll keep going.
Yeah.
If we go to take it for my word that there's not a lot of satellites going over the North and South Pole, which kind of led to their belief that.
Yeah, we could also ask ChatGPT as well if you ever need. See South Pole station satellites. But yeah, that'll be something to look into. But yeah, I assume because it's I think the one reason would be it's not using the Earth's rotation, so it's probably harder to get the satellite going up this way.
Right.
Or just costs more fuel or whatnot.
And then on the North Pole, there's a no-fly zone. So people ask if planes can fly over the poles. And they're forbidden from flying over the North Pole. So there's... but I don't think that's the case. People fly and could see relatively close to where they're claiming there's a huge hole at the poles. Like, it would have been kind of leaked by now if there was a huge hole there. Mm-hmm. And then so many people have flown sort of near that region that they would have seen that there was a huge hole there.
Do you think that this saying there's a hole there is probably like controlled opposition, or do you think there's some sort of deliberate push?
I'm not sure. I think some people really believe that there's holes there. There was 2 expeditions of people who were like ready to go march out in the Arctic to go check.
Yeah, no, I understand that part, but I'm like, it's similar to 9/11. Most people believe it's explosives in the alt community, but it's usually like driven by a few
Yeah.
people. Yeah,
Well, I think
yeah,
there's some people that kind of capitalize on just sort of like the fantasy about there
yeah,
being like a sort of like a civilization inside the earth, and there's people that can travel there, and there's like a secret land that Admiral Byrd traveled to, so people can kind of
hmm
uh, try to make a buck that way too.
yeah.
But I
That a grifter just goes there, but
yeah,
even then, yeah, it's still a fun trip, anyways, regardless.
yeah, yeah. So I'll get to this other guy, Brooks Agnew. He was uh, sort of the person that took the place of the guy who passed away in 2007 before they can leave, and I'll get to his spot in the book soon. Um, this is one of the guys at the South Pole. And then I should play the. I have a video on sort of. There's a theory that the Nazis, after World War II, they knew they were going to lose the war, and like you couldn't find a lot of the Nazis after World War II. So some people say they all escaped to Hollow Earth through the South Pole, and because they bought into the Hollow Earth theory kind of pretty well, and they kept sending missions down to the South Pole to check for an opening. So I have a quick video on that too. I think it's in my. It's called "Stuff They Don't Want You to Know." Hollow Earth. This is a quick video.
From UFOs to ghost and psychic powers, history is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now and learn the stuff they don't want you to know. I always thought Earth was solid, but is it? Some people don't think so. In fact, Hollow Earth theorists think the Earth's surface is only 800 to several thousand miles thick. They believe an entire world exists beneath this surface, illuminated by a small star. This land, they say, is inhabited and can be reached through deep cave systems like Kentucky's Mammoth Cave or the Earth's North and South Poles. Mammoth Cave is the longest cave system in the world, and no one knows how deep it actually goes. If there is a Hollow Earth, maybe this is a good place to begin the search. But what about gravity and earthquakes? If the Earth is hollow, how does it generate the gravity necessary to keep objects pinned to the surface? Some hollow earthers believe the gravitational pull of the inner star or the crust of Earth itself is sufficient to maintain surface life. Thousands of people across the globe believe Earth is a hollow sphere inhabited by an alien civilization. I can see how this sounds silly, but the Nazi Party bought it hook, line, and sinker. In fact, the Third Reich took the Hollow Earth theory seriously enough to send 3 expeditions to Antarctica starting in 1938. One of these missions was specifically designed to search for an entrance to the Earth's interior. Based on information from Arctic tribes, Tibetan shamans, and the Occult Society, Nazis were convinced the possibility was worth investigating. They declared part of Antarctica Nazi territory and named it New Schwabia. If the Earth did prove to be hollow, the Nazis planned to locate Allied ships by shooting infrared waves through the Earth to England. If the interior of the Earth was, as they believed, both hollow and inhabited, the Nazis planned to contact these inhabitants and gather their support in the war on the surface world. The isolated location provided a perfect backdrop for other, more sinister experiments: submarine technology, invisible aircraft, nuclear power. I hear the British and US military may have even sent fleets of ships down to stop the Nazi activities in Antarctica in an operation called High Jump. While this Project High Jump was officially listed as a reconnaissance mission, questions linger regarding the mysterious deaths of people involved. Many researchers believe the Nazis maintained a secret submarine and aircraft base. Several Hollow Earth researchers believe the Nazis never found the entrance, but instead stumbled upon technology from the subterranean world and reverse engineered these artifacts, ultimately designing what we would recognize as UFOs. Here's where it gets crazy. Some of these people believe the Nazis did discover an entrance to the inner world, What's more, they argue Adolf Hitler may not have died in the infamous bunker suicide, but instead escaped with his supporters to the South Pole, where the secret Nazi outposts maintained control over a passage to the interior. Proponents of this theory allege that thousands of scientists disappeared toward the close of the war, retreating into the earth. The mainstream scientific community scoffs at these allegations, but is it really that strange? We know, for instance, that the US itself recruited Nazi scientists in Operation Paperclip, and the Nazis certainly made it to New Schwabia, and they felt vindicated by the endeavor, so much so that they annexed part of Antarctica to protect their claims. What did they discover amid the desolate frozen waste? Alien technology, uranium, or something else? Something they don't want you to know.
All right. Yeah, pretty interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that Hitler was trying to like see if the Earth was hollow or not. That's pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, they bought it pretty well. There's that's one of the
Okay.
sort of like big theories about Hollow Earth is that all the Nazis escaped there, and then when you go to the poles, all of the UFOs that surround it have Nazi logos on them.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's pretty well. Again,
I don't think that's true, but
and also someone commented, yeah, the Germans didn't go south to Hollow Earth, but settled in Chile and Argentina. Interesting.
yeah. So they escaped somewhere to South America, but there's
and
people
also,
like to exaggerate, you know.
yeah, yeah. And also they also helped create NASA and so on. All the Nazis.
Yeah.
Because they're all one team in my opinion.
Right.
All right.
So if we keep going through his book, let's see. There's the stories of Admiral Byrd. You've probably heard all the flat earthers comment about how he sort of discovered like this Antarctic wall that like that that you can that's like the edge of the flat Earth, which isn't true at all. I don't think he flew to a secret land through that either. That was just kind of sort of disinformation flowing around, and then people just like to exaggerate. So moving through the Operation High Jump again. Let's see. Going. Oh, so this is the North Pole Inner Earth Expedition. This guy is the only PhD sort of researcher that I've seen who kind of fully sunk his teeth into the Hollow Earth, and he's still around. I subscribe to his mailing list. He still sends regular emails to the people, and like he has arranged a crew and stuff. But I don't think his expedition ever took off. But I want to play his actual kind of intro video of him like kind of like recruiting people to go on this journey, and then I also want to play his. He has a video of kind of how he subscribes to the shadow zones of sort of technology that have when you do what is it, like seismic imaging of the Earth. So let me go to this guy right here, the North Pole Inner Earth Expedition. This is his 10-minute video where he's all gung-ho about going to the North Pole to look up and see if there's a hole.
It is written, many are called, but few are chosen. I like to think of it a little differently. Many are called, but few choose. I've been chosen to lead the North Pole Inner Earth Expedition.
All right.
My name is Brooks Agnew, and I choose to start here. Mount Shasta, 9,000 feet, shrouded in the mists of mystery. To begin what may be the greatest geological expedition in the history of the world.
And his hand sign too.
Or not. Join us. You may ask, who am I that I should lead this most intrepid group of people on this expedition? Well, I have been privileged with the highest callings there are, that of teacher, scientist, engineer, talk show host of X Squared Radio, but most of all, I am an Earth explorer. Most of us are familiar with our world as we view it from weather satellites on the evening news. These satellites go around the planet from east to west or from west to east. There are a few satellites called polar satellites that go around the Earth, North and South Pole. However, data is not available to the public for a view of the North Pole or the South Pole, only the center section. There are only a few polar satellites. In February of 2006, the federal government issued a data denial implementation plan, which secures the continued flow of real-time meteorological satellite data from the NOAA, provided instruments on board EUMETSAT's METCOP spacecraft to public duty users in the United States. During episodes that might otherwise require data denial. Data denial means real-time data from U.S. environmental instruments can be denied during periods of crisis or war. There are no publicly available images of the North Pole.
Yeah, I don't know about that. If you look it up online, there's several photos.
Solar flares explode.
Yeah. I don't think I need to play this whole thing. I was gonna play a larger portion of this, or I guess I could do the whole thing.
No,
He goes over kind of like sort of the science behind how flat Earth could work with the shadow zones and the inner sun.
Flat Earth or Hollow Earth?
Or hollow Earth, I mean.
All right.
So let me.
Yeah, no, I saw like a bit of this clip when I was looking at the notes. Yeah, he said that there's no publicly available photos of the North Pole.
Right. This was in 2007 that he was made this.
Okay. Because I googled it. I saw one at least. I'm not sure.
It's yeah, I'm not sure. Let me because there's a let me keep playing this clip. We got another 6 minutes on it.
Yeah, we'll just play.
Solar flares explode from the sun's surface hundreds of thousands of miles into space. These
let me pause this. I might have a better quality version because this one kind of stinks.
Unlike traditional gravity theories, gravity
Is
actually
that better at all,
centers
or?
in the crust of the Earth. Are there openings in the Earth's crust that lead to an interior world? We are about to explore and find out. Originally, as the Earth formed from particles surrounding the Sun in what's called an accretion disk, the Earth formed in a ball and exhibited a condition called overspin. As the crust expanded, the Earth slowed down to its present rate. What is left behind is a gap between the core and the crust. Molten rock fills in the gaps left by the expansion of Earth's crust. Earth was once 1/3 its present diameter. It's easily seen that all of the continents once fit together like a key and a lock. The crust has expanded enough so that now ocean fills in the space between the continents. One can see from this graph that in the last 25 years, earthquakes have increased in intensity and frequency. The rate of increase is alarming. Every time there is a major earthquake, Geologists collect an MRI of the Earth. That is to say, vibrations travel from the point of earthquake to the other side of the planet, where precision accelerometers reveal a detailed picture of what the Earth may look like on the inside. Unfortunately, each time one of these events occurs, there is a series of shadow waves, or unexplained waves, left behind. This example out of a common textbook is exactly what geological students see each year. Each time they have to accommodate the shadow zone. We believe this is a broken model, as does Jan Lambrecht, who also took the same math data and worked it backwards to see if the MRI could reveal the true structure of the inner Earth. In this slide, you can see there is a model that works without exception every time. As the vibration occurs on one side of the planet, it passes through the crust, but does not pass through the open air area between the crust and the core. Instead, it passes freely around, reflecting to the other side. There are no shadow zones in this model. The math works perfectly every time. In actuality, as the Earth forms, it forms into a sphere rather than a solid ball. The center of gravity, as shown here, is actually in the middle of the crust. Think of it as if you were standing in an elevator on a bathroom scale, and the elevator traveled to the center of the Earth from the surface. As you went lower and lower, your body weight would actually drop, until when you finally reach the center of the Earth, your body weight might actually be negative. According to Newtonian physics, as matter coagulates or aggregates in space, the amount of gravity associated with that mass increases with its weight. If those Newtonian physics are in fact accurate, while you're in the center of the Earth, you would actually weigh nothing, because all of the mass of the Earth would be above you. This is why planets form into spheres and not solid balls. In actuality, the acceleration of gravity that we feel on the surface is about 32 feet per second squared. However, standing on the inside of the crust, as though you were standing in China, only on the inside of the Earth, the acceleration would be about a third less, or about 21 feet per second squared. The open-air gap between the inside of the crust and what many theorists believe is an inner sun may be as much as 1,200 miles of open air. To put that in perspective, the space shuttle flies at about 200 miles above the surface of the Earth. High-altitude aircraft fly at about 8 miles above the planet. We have about 3 miles of breathable atmosphere on the surface of our planet, whereas in the inner Earth, there may be as much as 800 to 1,000 miles of breathable atmosphere. The inner sun may be a glowing ball of metal, providing inner heat and a soft glow for the interior of the Earth. Without a sundown event, there would be no night or day on the inner Earth, simply a soft twilight 24 hours a day. A temperature equilibrium may form, with a minimum of weather. However, with a vast atmosphere, a tropical environment low in solar radiation may form the perfect environment for long life and giantism among plants and animals. The idea behind a North Pole passage is that there is a hole or an opening in the crust equalizing the pressure from the interior to the exterior of the planet. The ocean actually coats the crust on the inside and outside of the crust, meaning that there is an outer ocean upon which we sail, and an inner ocean, an ocean with no horizon. What we are about to undertake may be the greatest geological expedition in the history of the world. The builders of Rosslyn Chapel, in the year 1442, wanted us to know the true nature of the Earth. Directly above the altar, in the center front of the chapel, in the ceiling, lowered down and carefully ornately carved, a hollow world with an interior sun. Join our expedition, the North Pole Inner Earth Expedition. Our project cost is estimated to be around $2 million. Our mission statement is to build a team with the right skills and the right consciousness to reunite the human race with their family in the inner earth and beyond. Phoenix Science Foundation, in cooperation with Advanced Planetary Explorations, LLC, has formed this expedition to bring the film, the data, and the samples back from the North Pole so that you will know whether the world is in fact hollow or not.
So that's enough of him. But that's he's the only one that I found that has an actual PhD that subscribes to the hollow Earth theory with the inner sun.
What was his PhD in?
I have no idea. I just know he has a PhD.
Okay. Yeah.
I try to look for some credentials when I try to read anyone's opinion on it, and Andrew Johnson mentioned him, and
that's pretty interesting.
So I went and researched what sort of what he had to produce,
yeah.
And this is what I found.
Yeah, it's a bit dramatic, but it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So if I keep going on his book, so that's Brooks Agnew.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of the pictures that I was looking for before. This is the auroras over the South Pole that you can almost see that could be from an inner sun. Whereas if there was a hole here and there was a sun illuminating from the inside, you would see this green light could be like a ring around where the sun would be shining. So this is something that a lot of the Hollow Earth websites highlight. This image from NASA of sort of like a aurora ring around the poles.
Yeah, but even it could be just the poles, how they have equal strength around the pole.
Right.
Yeah, so it could be something.
Well, there's a small cusp of where sort of like the electromagnetic field of Earth actually blocks a lot of the sun's radiation. Otherwise, we'd kind of fry to death. And there's a small little cusp around an area where the sun's rays can kind of get there, and that's what the northern lights are. So that's what they are. But it's interesting to see how they would fit through that area and make a circle around it at the same time. So, what is it? The Earth cannot be hollow, can it?
Yeah.
Let me go back to my notes.
It's like just one point about that aurora. So it'd be interesting to see if there's any lab done experiments, like just a small scale trying to replicate the aurora with a magnet and sunlight or radiation. That'd be interesting to look at. I haven't.
Yeah, I haven't. There's an image on. I don't know if I have it saved for this stream. I had it on my TikTok a while ago that got banned. There was an image that I had that showed like the way the electromagnetic field blocks the rays, but there's a cusp kind of in there. But I'll maybe after the stream I could find it and I'll post it. But if we keep going through his book, I want to get to the expanding Earth evidence because that's more along the lines of actual real science and actual PhDs doing real work. Oh, let's cover the deepest hole on Earth. So we've only actually dug down. What is it? 12 kilometers below the Earth's surface to actually see for ourselves what's below us. So that's not that far to actually see what's below us, if it was hollow or if there's a deep underground ocean. So that's what percentage of that? It's only like 2% of Earth or something like that we've actually dug down to actually see what's below us.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going. And then he goes, but the Earth still can't be hollow. So if he goes through gravity and sort of the way that gravity is sort of centered in the crust, he goes through some information. Whereas when you dig down, gravity actually is different when you're deep inside the Earth versus whether you're at the crust. So there was some sort of discrepancy there. And then this is the seismic waves. I think this is going over the shadow zones, which we kind of just covered.
Yeah, if you could explain a bit more on the shadow zones, I looked up online just quickly. So basically, the seismic one doesn't go through liquid, or they have to make up for it, or how do you?
So there's shadow zones where if you take an MRI of the Earth and you try to, with an earthquake, to have it go through the actual Earth, there's waves that on the other side, if it was solid, it should just be a reading on the other side of the Earth that they can detect. But there's also there's these waves that come out in different spots that don't go straight through the Earth, that kind of feed around the Earth into different spots where they won't go straight through. So there's I don't know the scientific part of the shadow zones as well as.
Well, if the material's different, yeah. So I think that's how they view that this is liquid, like liquid metal or magma, because
right.
it's gonna vibrate at a different angle than if it was just solid, and then it comes out different angle. So
yeah.
So I think that's because the material's different, and so the question is it air or is it liquid and so on, but
right. So let's see if he so again, it's assumed that because the shadow zone can be measured, it proves that part of the Earth's core must be liquid. However, this assumes that the P waves travel along the sorts of paths shown in the diagram, and this is why the shadow zone appears. However, Lamprecht argues that the P waves could travel in a different path and never travel through the liquid core, as the diagram above implies. Lamprecht reports that he simulated the path of the P waves and used different hollow Earth structures. He determined that if he used an existing proposed structure of the inner Earth, but with a hollow or gas-filled core, he was able to generate the same sort of shadow zone that is shown in the figure labeled 311 above. He illustrates this idea thus. So if there's you see right here the shadow zone of where this is where the reading starts, and then there's a shadow zone right here too. He makes the argument that the P waves could not travel through the hollow core, so instead some of them travel around it, but in a different path to that which mainstream scientists propose. He also points how variations in the velocity of the waves are explained in a way which supports the standard core model to allow the proposed P wave paths to appear sensible or valid. However, if the path is different, as he suggests, then the velocity changes would imply a different internal structure. It is true to say that we don't really have a precise way of measuring the actual path of the P waves, because one hemisphere of the globe in the other.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, so that'd be interesting to see if I can replicate that as well. I guess.
Yeah.
Because if you can, if you could, if I could do a small experiment demonstrating that, the Earth could be hollow or or liquid. Doesn't matter which one. You could still replicate it. That'd be very strong evidence. Just to make it the mainstream, just not concrete. Like just be like, all right, doesn't necessarily be.
Right. Yeah. Well, shadow zones are definitely a thing. They definitely have to adjust for those every time there's an earthquake and they're doing these MRIs of the Earth.
Yeah.
So those are something that they learn every year, like we just saw in that video.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that the shadow zones debunk flat Earth.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah. That's easy to debunk. I always point to the moon shape between the northern and the southern atmosphere for easy evidence to disprove flat Earth. Because if you're standing on the northern hemisphere, the Earth you'd see like the right side of the moon, but on the southern hemisphere you would see the left side.
Yeah. The moon one is very.
Moon for if there was a half moon in the sky. Yeah, so that's an easy way to prove that. Like if you were on a flat Earth, we would all see the same moon, and you also see the sun during the daytime. Like you do the moon during the daytime. You would see, but you never see the sun at night.
And you also see, and you also see different face of the moon.
Yeah.
Because
so
right now we see the same one because it's a lock to the Earth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's easy to kind of. That's my go-to evidence to disprove, an easy disproof of flat Earth. And then near the equator, you kind of see the moon sort of sideways. So if there was a half moon that you would see at the north and south pole, you would see it kind of like a watermelon shape at the equator.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I do have that that feeling that flat Earth is like it's not only just to
it's controlled opposition, right?
Yeah, but I think not only just for the whole conspiracy world, but also specifically for possible hollow Earth or expanding Earth. I think that might be something.
There's always truth as protective layers, like Andrew Johnson says.
Yeah, it is very interesting. And then I didn't realize about the cold fusion part. We'll go over the cold fusion as you go through in the Earth.
Okay, so I like the growing globe has the most solid evidence and actual. We're getting into actual science now. That's not as much as theories as the hollow Earth. So I want to play Dr. James Maxwell presentation first that goes through what kind of clicked in my head as the best evidence for the Earth expanding. So if we go to his part 2, let me do the intro of this this presentation is called "Yes, the Earth is Expanding," and I'm going to play a little bit of part 1 of the intro and then skip to where he goes to the northern and southern hemisphere, or where is it? North America and South America.
It's a subject I hope to see in the educational system in Western schools one day, that people are told that the plate tectonics theory is incomplete and needs to be seen in a larger framework. So that was the reason I've got Dr. James Maxwell over here from Western Australia. He's internationally recognised in this field. He's part of a huge network of people researching such things. He's here today to show you visually and tell you all the mechanics of why and how our Earth has been expanding and where it's going. Please give James a big, warm Nexus Conference welcome, James Maxwell.
Thank you, Duncan, for that glowing introduction. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I guess my contribution to this conference today is to move away from the metaphysical side of science to the more physical sciences. And this is my speciality, of course, Earth expansion. My background is that I'm a geologist. I've been working in the mining industry for all of my working career. mainly looking for that dumb yellow metal, as we all seem to want in the mire. I currently operate through Tyrrell Consultants, my own company in Perth, Tyrrell Consultants. And I guess my interest in Earth expansion stems from about 1980, when I came across a little book by the late Professor Sam Warren Carey, who's the father of, considered the father of Earth expansion. I later met him in Perth at a conference in the University of WA in 1988, and then was so inspired that I commenced a master's research at Curtin University in Perth in the early 90s, and then moved on to a PhD study in the late 90s, culminating in this, what I'm about to show you today. It also culminates in a publication of my book, Terra Non Firma Earth, Plate Tectonics is a Myth. What I'll be going through today is to just give you a rundown on what evidence is there to suggest that the Earth is expanding. As Duncan alluded to, we're stereotyped into thinking that plate tectonics is the answer to all things global, and this is to the detriment of these alternative theories.
Did it just freeze? Are you frozen, Meth? Alright, I think you're frozen. Alright, guys, yeah, Meth, I don't know what's going on. Alright, so the Earth is frozen, guys. Meth, can you hear me? Alright, guys, I do not know what should I do. Okay, well, while that's figuring it out, I will show this. This was on that smoky, yeah, maybe it's connection. Okay, it's using companion mode. Are you back on, Meth? What's companion mode? Hello, Meth? Okay, hello, are you back on? Okay, Meth, or you want to try Telegram, maybe? Alright, guys, the Earth is frozen. Meth is frozen. I can't hear any audio. Alright, so Meth is gone. Okay, there was a... Try and get him back. Yeah, okay. Meth, maybe call me on Telegram. Okay, you're on there now. Are you... pause the video. It's still going, but we're not hearing it. Alright, guys, we have some technical difficulties. Alright, I can see you, yeah. So, Meth, I can see you, but I can't hear you. Maybe Telegram. Or, I don't know, I used to companion mode. I don't know what that means. Hey, guys. Well, while we figured that out, I wanted to read this part. Okay, once we hear Meth, maybe call Telegram. Okay, so once we figure that out, I'll just read this. Where this was, so this was at Olaf Jansen and the Smoky God story. But it was interesting in that story, it talked about wheels. See, wheels. Wheel. Yeah, so let's go here. So Jansen then recounts how they toured the land of the inner earth for about 2 years. This part of the story holds some interesting details. And then he says, we were taken overland to the city of Eden in a conveyance different from anything we have in Europe or America. This vehicle was doubtless some electrical contrivance. It was noiseless and ran on a single iron rail in perfect balance. The trip was made at a very high rate of speed. Okay, I'm getting a call. Alright, from accept. Alright, hi, Meth, can you hear me?
I don't know what happened.
Okay, but I can hear you. Can you guys hear him?
Hello?
Can you hear me or no? I might be using the mic
so.
on the other thing. Let me see. I can hear you. Don't hang
I
up.
can't hear now at all.
Okay, whoops. So it might be... Let me just see. How do I do this? Why is everything gone? Stop video. Okay, how do I... It might be using something else. Telegram. Why does it hide everything else? Okay. Settings. Microphone, speakers, and camera. Microphone. Hello. Yeah, it should be working. Output. Okay, so I can hear you. I just can't see. I can't see the thing. All right. Can you hear me? I can hear you. You want to talk, Meth? Say something. I can hear you. Okay, so now we're in the in jumpy video.
Yeah, I the end, so it would like
It's glitching out.
be slow, and then that kick.
Yeah, your audio is jumping as well. It's hard to understand what's going on.
Right. So I
Do you have Skype or no?
it should be faster now.
Okay. Okay. Why was the so on the Google Meet you could check the settings and see what the audio is. Like you can go to settings and then change your microphone and speaker. Just double check what's being used. I guess you can't hear me. I can hear you, but I think just use one microphone. Okay, so I'm gonna have to close this. I can see you there. Here. Yeah, the video. It could be the video, maybe. You want to close the video, or and check audio. Video. Okay. So, everything's fine. I just don't know what's going on here. Settings. Video. Audio. Speakers. Oh, speaker. No, not that. Just goes. Everything's fine. Okay, maybe close the video. Yeah, close the video. Okay, I'll hang up. Yeah, I'm gonna hang up and see what happens. So I'm gonna hang up and rejoin. Okay, join now. Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Math. Okay, why is this companion mode on? People are using the, you want to turn the companion mode off? This thing right here, companion mode. I don't know what that is. Alright guys, we are in... Okay. Let's see, maybe a new Google Meet. Okay, I'm gonna close everything out. I'm gonna close this one. I'm gonna send you a new Google Meet. You wanna just hang up, Math. We'll try again. Okay, and then try a new link. Otherwise, get Skype if you have it. Okay, I'm gonna hang up and close. End the meeting. Okay, so and now we're gonna go. I'll send a new Google Meet. New meeting and join now. Okay. Okay, I am joining now. Alright. Dr. Methyl. Okay, so I sent you a link. Alright, so I'm in. Okay, so as he gets that in, let's go back to our reading. Anyways, so it was noiseless and ran on a single iron rail in perfect balance. The trip was made at a very high rate of speed. We were carried up hills and down dales, across valleys, and again along the sides of steep mountains, without any apparent attempt having been made to level the earth as we do for railroad tracks. The car seats were huge, yet comfortable affairs, and very high above the floor of the car. Oh, he's back in. Okay, Joe Ida's there. Is that him? Admit. Joe Ida. Hello? Joe Ida. Is this Methyl Miner? It's outside the organization. This is another... Alright, so now, what does companion mode mean? I have no idea what these are. Okay, microphone. You can't unmute someone else's presentation. Oh, so it's muted. Can you unmute it? It says it's mute. Okay. So we're in the Matrix, guys. Yeah, I don't know what in the world's going on here. Does anybody know how to do stuff? Okay, Joe Ida. Hello, Joe. It says your name. Okay, so Methyl Miner is getting doxxed. That's his real name. Okay. Can you unmute? I don't know what's going on. What's being muted? Can you show the Google Meet on your thing? Okay, I'm gonna show it. Send here. Alright. What in the world's going on here? And take over from Joe Ida as main presenter. So I can't hear you. Can you check the settings on the thingy? Click settings. And I'll just send him this one, then I'll go back to reading my gyro. Right, I think I can hear you.
Yeah, I think I can now. I had to leave and rejoin.
All right, so there's two of you showing. There's Joe.
Yeah, I had. Yeah, that's my real name.
Okay, you got doxxed. All right, you got doxxed. It's all right.
It didn't let me join under my other name.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. I think they're So the government's after you. They don't want people to know that the Earth is hollow or something.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, you could try playing that video again from that spot or beginning, or up to you where you want to play it from. All right, guys.
Where's my screen? I can't see my screen. I'll see it my face.
I can see your screen. I can see your window. Or you might be sharing it through the other account. But why is there's one frozen? To remove that guy from the call? There's you on, okay, yeah. There was you on companion mode. I don't know. You stopped using companion mode. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. My separate email account was like my personal one was on there. Okay. That automatically joined me at like right away.
Okay, yeah, no worries. So up to you if you want to still use this name or switch it, but it's working.
It's whatever.
It's all good. It's all good.
All right.
All right.
Can you see my screen? I can't see my screen on the.
Oh, you're not sharing. You're not sharing your screen anymore. That was you were sharing with your companion mode one. So you share it again, and you'll show it. All right.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, and just play. The video's a bit choppy when you were playing before. I want to try something. Just play it right now. It might be still choppy because you're sharing it on the screen.
Okay. How about now?
A different texture.
Make it louder.
Colors in the oceans. Each of these colors, as I said, represents an interval in time. Okay. An interval where sediments have been deposited, extruded, or extruded in volcanism, for instance, over a set period.
Yeah, it's actually better now. It's still a bit choppy. But yeah, I think it's fine because what I was gonna say is if you could share, like each time, go to try this right now. Let's try this. Click the present something else, and instead of presenting the whole screen, just present the video. Let's see if that'll play smoother.
Okay.
Otherwise, maybe next time we'll use Skype. Because Skype never had an issue with that. With Nano Revisionist. You could. Otherwise, we'll just continue. You could press the present button where you were presenting.
Yeah. I'm looking for the actual.
And it should be on the instead of the screen. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I see it.
I think you did. I think you did.
Discriminate between, say, granites or volcanic rocks or sedimentary rocks.
Is that better?
A package of rocks.
I think it's the same thing. So you could do either or. So we could probably just.
Continents.
Okay. So I think just share the full screen and then we'll just go from here. All right.
Yeah, my internet's it's been like awful lately. It's I even switched providers and like
Okay, so that's the reason. Okay, that's the reason. I thought it was something to do with the Google Meet, but it's just internet because I haven't had this issue before. All right. So
yeah, I think it's my internet.
All right, so you could share screen, the full one, just so that you don't need to keep switching, and then ready to go.
Yeah,
and
I'll do that.
All right, guys, we are back. Sorry for the inconvenience. We were attacked by government agents trying to prevent.
No, that was me shutting off my. I was trying to fix. Someone said it was choppy, so I'm like, all right, I'll shut off something, and then it ruined everything.
Yeah, but the audio was fine. That's why I didn't have too big of an issue. It's probably better too, so we don't get copyright strike because the guy's choppy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. All right, so this is the best part of Dr. James Maxwell's presentation with the second part of the this is part 2, divided in 14 parts where he'll go through each part of the globe and it'll show you with different time periods how the Earth is expanding and what it looked like in the Jurassic period and then the time before that and the time after that. And he goes through like a pretty good explanation of how you remove the fault lines for where the water is coming up through the Earth, and then you shrink remove the water, shrink the globe, and the continents will fit together perfectly. So let me this is 8 minutes here. Let me go to.
Well, it's pretty interesting. You could play it all if you want. It's pretty interesting.
All right. Well, there's 8 minutes to this part, so let me start right where we just were.
Yeah.
A unique tool to
or you want to start from the beginning? I think you just start from the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're.
Well, this is part 2. Yeah.
Oh, it's part 2. Okay.
Coincide with publication of this geological map of the world, and this mapping was not available to my predecessors, and it was primarily mapped. It was undertaken to quantify plate tectonics. But unfortunately, as I'll elaborate, this did not come anywhere near quantifying plate tectonics. In fact, this information is rarely to never used in plate tectonics anymore. It has provided a unique tool to Earth expansionists like myself to quantify the Earth expansion process. The colours shown in this map represent intervals of geological time, and as should become immediately apparent, the colours in the continents have a different fabric, a different texture to the colours in the oceans. Each of these colours, as I said, represents an interval time, an interval where sediments have been deposited, extruded, or extruded in volcanism, for instance, over a set period of time. It doesn't discriminate between, say, granites or volcanic rocks or sedimentary rocks. It's just a package of rocks which were formed in that period of time. The continents comprise these very ancient fragments of granites and volcanic rocks shown in pink and red, very ancient sedimentary rocks shown in khaki, and progressively younger sedimentary and volcanic rocks shown in blues and yellows, I think, in there. This is as distinct from the oceanic crust, and as I intimated before, continental crust is quite distinct, is quite different to the oceanic crust. Continents are around about, say, 30 to 70, 80 kilometres thick on average, whereas the oceanic crust is only about 7 to 10 kilometres thick, and the oceanic crust is primarily volcanic rocks. What you can also see, and find the cursor again, is that each of the oceans contain, or the colours are symmetrical about this central mid-ocean rift zone. You may or may not have heard this term, mid-ocean rift. I have this in spherical format in the next slide, but this can be visualised as a network of cracks networking all around the world, centrally located in each of the oceans. And this is quite a revelation to the map makers, the oceanographers and geophysicists when they were mapping this. So what this, you may or may not have seen footage on television of the deep sea submersibles going very deep in the oceans, and these black smoke is coming out, and the super hot steamy water and all the mucky metals and whatnot. That's where these occur along these mid-ocean rift zones. And you also see that the colours graduate away from that central mid-ocean rift zone. So the central, we'll focus on this area, this central pink colour is present, occurring right now to about 2 million years ago. As we move away, these volcanic rocks age away from this mid-ocean rift zone to this blue colour, which is the early Jurassic, about 165 million years ago. And these are the oldest oceanic crusts in each of the oceans. I thought it didn't behave itself there. Okay, this is the same data portrayed on a spherical Earth. Here, damn. Stephen, please. Yeah. Yeah, it should rotate them. Oh, wrong one. I'll talk to this one while Stephen comes. The Earth is a sphere, as we all know. It's not a flat map. The old flat Earth theory has long since been disproven and gone with the gods and whatnot, of course. And this is the same data displayed in spherical format. And as I mentioned, these volcanic rocks age away from this mid-ocean rift zone towards the continents. The oldest shown over here is the early Jurassic. So what you can visualize here is that this is a crack. It opens up, new volcanic material is injected along these cracks over a period of time, along with about, say, 15 to 20% by volume, or by weight rather, of water and volatiles. So all volcanic rocks contain around about 15 to 20% of water and volatiles. So here we have a situation where we have new volcanic rocks being injected along these cracks, along the mid-ocean rift zones, along with an outpouring of the water and gases. Once it hits the water, these volcanic rocks are quenched and solidified. As you open again, it cracks and further volcanic rocks come in. So this is basically what this striping is showing. So over a period of time, the pink to yellow is around about 15 million years. So in that time, that has cracked and open, new volcanic rocks come through. So you end up with quite a wide stripe. As I mentioned, this is symmetrical in each of the oceans. It's symmetrical about the mid-ocean rift zone. But as I think you can probably appreciate that in order to do this, you then must increase the area of the oceans and move each of the continents away from each other. And this is the basis of tectonics. the Atlantic Ocean in particular is the basis of plate tectonics. I'll move on to the next slide to run down on that. But all of this material is in plate tectonic theory. All of this additional material is supposedly being subducted in the Pacific Ocean, and this is what we're led to believe. Yep, this one works. So what I've done is simply take each of those coloured stripes and remove them, and then fit each of the remaining plates back together at a reduced radius. It'll go back in time and then come forward in time. And this is quite valid because this material was put there, was in place there during this period of time. So this is future. So all I'm saying is, if you move back in time, you have to take that stripe away, each of those coloured stripes away in sequence, and progressively reduce the area of the ocean and move the continents closer together. I'm sure you can appreciate that, and this is common to the plate tectonic theory as well as the Earth expansion theory. The only difference is, as I mentioned before, plate tectonics, what you add to the Atlantic Ocean, for instance, you must dispose of elsewhere. In Earth expansion is, as you expand the radius of the Earth, you open up these cracks, new material is forced into these cracks and solidified, and it's simply cumulative with time. So there's no net removal of any material whatsoever.
So that was part two of him going over. That's kind of what sunk in with me the most, of seeing that Earth sort of contracts and having the North America, South America, and Europe and Africa kind of fit together perfectly while removing those fault lines was just it kind of clicked in my head that this is the true story,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is very compelling, just the way it fits, and remove those fault lines.
So I want to play. He has 5 minutes of the animated models. There's no sound in this next part, but it's part 14 of 14 goes over it's not him talking, but it's 5 minutes of each section of the globe shrinking and expanding that I want to play next. So there's no sound with this. So it should start in a second. Yeah. kind of not sure what these rotating ones were, but you can kind of see in the previous ones how when the continents fit together almost perfectly from each side of the Earth, no matter which way you look at it, they kind of all shrink together, and it's sort of it just fits together perfectly if you were to shrink the Earth. Whereas you can't really have continents drifting around a globe that remained the same radius for forever and having it just drift around the ocean. I don't even see, like, I know they proposed that, like, when you have like a subduction and reduction area with plate tectonics where some water's here, then it would get like sort of shifted under to the other part. But I just don't see that being the case. James Maxwell has he says that Earth is expanding by 2 millimeters every year. So over millions of years, that equates to a good amount of size. But and then he doesn't think that the Earth is hollow. He in his presentation he says he's like he doesn't know where the new material is coming from. He just is straight evidence for Earth expansion, and he doesn't claim to know where the new material is coming from. So he says that kind of later on in the presentation. I think it's in part 7 or 8. And then his website goes over way more in depth of the plate tectonics versus Earth expansion or expansion tectonics, like what he said. So this is what we're looking at right here is the Antarctica shrinking into itself and going to Australia and whatnot. So you can see it kind of come out back again right here.
No, this is the plate tectonics servers. Okay, I can hear myself speaking. I don't know why it was that.
Yeah. Well, there's no audio in this part 14, so
No, I mean I could hear. I was hearing myself speak. Maybe it was coming from yours.
Oh.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
It must be plate tectonics because the Earth isn't shrinking at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's Pangea.
Yeah. So that might be Earth expansion. They just kind of superimposed at Earth that had just had more room to look at everything instead of it being all those weird colors of the shape of the Earth. So I want to get into the dinosaurs aspect of an expanding Earth because that's sort of more evidence that the Earth is expanding based on the reduced gravity that let the dinosaurs grow so big. So I want to play there's this site called dinox.org.
Have you ever wondered
Why were dinosaurs so big?
Can you make it louder or no? It should be fine.
Dinosaurs.
Can you hear it
were
better
the
now?
largest land creatures.
It's alright.
The biggest dinosaurs were the sauropods. They had long necks and tails with a mass several times greater than any elephant. Carnivorous dinosaurs were much smaller, although they were still huge. Tyrannosaurus rex was the size of an elephant. Galileo was the first scientist to illustrate why animals are limited in size in his final book. Larger animals need relatively thicker bones, and this limits the scale of life. By the early 20th century, the limit on the scale of life was well known. Darcy Thompson concluded that the forms, as well as the actions of our bodies, are entirely conditioned by the strength of gravity upon this globe. It is gravity which controls the scale of today's life. Today's life would tend to be larger in a reduced gravity. If gravity also controlled the scale of dinosaurs, then the force of ancient gravity can be calculated. It can be estimated from the relative scale of ancient life compared to present-day life. Ancient life's bone strength, its muscle strength, its ligament strength, and its blood pressure. All these calculations show that gravity was less in the dinosaurs' time. Ancient life lived in a reduced surface gravity that allowed all land-based life to grow to a larger scale. Ancient gravity solves the mystery of the dinosaurs' gigantic size.
Which is it's pretty cool. This site, dinox.org, has some great expanding Earth documents, as well as the reduced gravity Earth, and goes through all sorts of different dinosaurs. And but one of the biggest things that stuck out with me was these huge dragonflies.
I'm Stephen Hurrell, and I'm going to briefly explain how we can use light structural dynamics to capture.
So there was a huge bird that Andrew Johnson mentioned in his book that stuck out, that they had to that none of them have been able to explain. That it was like the size. There was a huge bird flying around that there's no way it could have flown in today's gravity. The bone structure that they found. So let me go to. We kind of just discussed the expanding Earth in this part of the book. Yep. Here we go. So. A large bird-like dinosaur. See if there's a picture here. Yeah, so this is a picture of the skeleton of the gigantic bird-like dinosaur, Gigantoraptor Aranesis, on display at the Dinosaurs of China exhibition at Wollongong Hall, UK in 2017. This is a bird that's flying around. This big thing.
Wow.
Yeah. There's no birds that big flying around today.
Yeah, that is an interesting part. The bone strength and then the giant birds and just
Yeah.
giant everything. And then 9/11 revisionist is sending some links to is saying that the dinosaur is a hoax. Dinosaur theory is a hoax. So that's interesting.
Right.
That might be for another live stream. We'll see about that. All right.
There may be a hoax, but then I don't think they would hoax these giant birds if they were fake. You know,
All right.
why would they fake stuff that they couldn't explain?
Mm-hmm.
So, then there's these flying lizards. See if I can pull up an image of this. Let's see. So let me just read the flying lizards part. While some scientists and researchers have argued that the large dinosaurs must have been considerable time waiting in water to support their own weight, due to the problems described earlier in this chapter, the argument or suggestion cannot be applied to those dinosaurs that became airborne. The fossil record clearly shows some dinosaurs were the giant ancestors of modern birds, but how did they have the power to weight ratio in their anatomies to keep them aloft? David Esker writes about one of the lesser-known large flying dinosaurs, thus Presentalocotus. Unlike the Argentavis, they are no-lying relatives of the Quetzalcoatlus, and thus made it difficult to estimate the Quetzalcoatlus mass. The author produced values that fell in a range between 50 kilograms to 2 tons, thus arriving at a rough estimate of 700 kilograms. With a 12-meter wingspan and a chest cavity larger than that of a horse, there's no getting around the fact that this was a huge animal. However, some paleontologists tell a different story, estimating the Quetzalcoatlus mass to be 90 and 250 kilograms. Thus, they are claiming the Quetzalcoatlus had a body density that was about 7 times less. Hold on.
Yeah, can you zoom in a bit? Just make it 1.
Yeah. Than any animal presently flying. These paleontologists need to do some explaining as to how the muscle, bone, and other bodily parts of a Quetzalcoatlus could have a density 7 times less than what is found in present-day birds.
Wow.
On the page referenced above, Esker also includes some figures and calculations to more clearly illustrate the problem of how these creatures could have left the ground, considering how heavy they would have been. So, lower estimates of Quetzalcoatlus compared with a 1.8 meter tall person. So if we zoom in a little bit, so you can see how big this regular human is compared to this big giant bird. So that's going to be probably 3 times your height.
Mm-hmm.
Let me zoom back out. So here's some more sort of diagrams of this guy standing next to one of the birds, and then same size here. So let me the Quetzalcoatlus weighed as much. So compare the weight of even 90 kilograms to the weight of one of the largest modern day flying birds. the Cory bustard, which can weigh up to 19 kilograms. The Quasilodocus weighed at a minimum over 4 times as much. Using the upper estimate of the Pterosaur's weight would mean that the bustard is 10 times lighter than its prehistoric predecessor. We have similar problems with the morphology of creatures like Argentavis, although its wingspan was only about 7 meters. One might argue that there was something special about dinosaurs, which allowed them to grow to enormous size. Perhaps there was some unknown property of their bones, tissue, or bodies, which made them large but not very dense or heavy. Perhaps paleontologists would pursue this line of thinking if it weren't for the fact of the existence of other types of large prehistoric creatures. On a site called Prehistoric Park Wiki, we can find the following text. I think this goes over the giant dragonflies. If you look at this dragonfly right here, of how that would be in close to your hand. There's no bugs that big in today's society, or today's society.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, the size of just pretty much everything, it just seems to be like uniformly just bigger.
Right. But you would get that in a reduced gravity sort of planet where things just have are not being pulled down as much as they are today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just getting a lot of links. 9/11 Risen is sending links to this Substack chemtrails guy saying that all the dinosaurs are hoax. Every single one that's in the museum, bones are fake. Yeah, so
well, yeah, the bones are fake because they recreate the bones. That doesn't mean that they didn't find actual bones initially. They don't put the actual bones in the museums on display.
Mm-hmm. Well, why? Yeah. So what's the? So what do they put all the bones in? How do they put them to preserve them, or what do they do with the bones?
I'm not sure. I know that they'll maybe find like one bone, and then they'll recreate like the whole structure. You know that like.
Okay.
Some of the bones they don't find all the bones of the animal. They'll sort of get enough that they can sort of recreate the animal, and then they'll kind of put them all together. So a lot of the bones are fake in museums.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, just I'm just trying to wrap my head around that because the website he's sending it's all he's saying it's all found and so on. Well, my first thing I wanted to do was look up if they talked about 9/11. So ask that Substack that he's sending links to.
Oh.
If they about 9, just see if they pass the litmus test because they're giving me like controlled opposition vibes.
Well, the people discussing this is
I can show you. You can see the link. This one here. It's in the this right here. I don't know. You probably have researched it. This one, chemtrails.substack, and the guy looks like an agent.
Yeah. Chemtrails kind of have a lot of
the Substack name is called chemtrails, but most of it is about the dinosaurs are fake.
Well, there's this. If you check out the site dinox.org,
yeah,
this is where I'm getting all this information and where Andrew Johnson got a lot of his sources that it coincides with Earth expansion and.
Yeah, no, definitely. I just wanted to see your thoughts on the people that say that dinosaurs are fake. Just what do you think about those?
They very well could be fake. I wasn't there to kind of look at them, you know, but.
Yeah. I'm just saying because it's they're, yeah. So. Just like what's your actual thoughts on like the faking mechanism or whatnot, or do you think?
Well, I think if they were gonna fake them, they wouldn't fake stuff that they couldn't explain, you know. Mm-hmm. And what would be the point of faking big dinosaur bones? I don't understand what they would gain from doing that.
But it's but it's also the faking part. It's like what's the mechanism of faking it all? Because it's. You would also need every university to go and make sure that they're just following the same
right
fake bone.
I think they found enough bones that would be a lot of coordination of every part of the world finding dinosaur bones to fake them all.
Yeah, just my first thoughts on it. I haven't looked at it too much, but it feels like the 9/11 CGI disinfo, and the pretty much flat Earth.
Well, I think by saying they're fake, that would kind of get around the fact that Earth had reduced gravity, because they can't explain how they got that big if the diameter of Earth remained constant and the gravity was the same. Yeah. So by saying they're fake, they're kind of laying the groundwork for controlled opposition if this kind of takes off, which it hasn't at all. If you tell people the Earth is expanding, no one's ever heard of this. Mm-hmm. So, and all of these are still theories. Like this is all brand new research. I don't know when Andrew Johnson wrote this book, but it was recently. It came out. So.
Yeah, and then the comments are just a bit out there. It's.
I haven't been looking at the comments. What are people saying?
No, another version is saying they're faking dinosaurs, take away from God, pushing evolution lie. But again, those aren't mutually exclusive. You can't just impose a religious viewpoint on it. And then Stephen F says the first dinosaur bone was found at a relative Darwin. What more do you need to know? Well, again, it could just mean they're all just the same Freemasonic world rulers. Right. Yeah, we're not gonna discard it, but 9/11. Yeah, now we're not discarding it, but we should present the actual. What's the hardest evidence instead of saying something's fake? It's like saying the 9/11 planes were fake. It's like, what's the actual evidence?
Right.
All right.
So
But yeah, I just wanted to one more point and just continue. So let's just keep the fake dinosaur stuff for another live stream. Right now we're just gonna focus on this one here just to see continue on Methyl Miner's presentation. All right.
Yeah. So I wanted to go and kind of explore this Dino X site with you guys while I'm on here. So if you go to their website. Let's go to, I think this is it. So you can see the dinosaurs gravity, Earth expansion, publications, and he goes through a lot of, so if we click on dinosaurs gravity, you can see where reduced gravity would make life lighter, so all land-based life could increase in scale with seemingly weak bones, muscles, and ligaments. A reduced gravity explains life's large size during dinosaurs' time. This theory allowed me to calculate the dinosaurs' gravity would need to be about half the present force of gravity to explain their large size. A truly astonishing conclusion. Among a number of possible reasons I considered for this reduced gravity was the prospect that the ancient Earth was much smaller in diameter and in mass to create a reduced gravity Earth. At first, it seemed unlikely that the ancient Earth could have been so small during the dinosaurs' time, but I soon discovered that a number of geologists had already proposed that the ancient Earth was smaller in diameter, later expanding over hundreds of millions of years until it reached its present size. Their reasoning had nothing to do with dinosaurs. It was based purely on geological evidence. This is commonly known as the expanding Earth theory, and a number of geologists are still promoting and refining this theory today. Based on their geological evidence, the geologists proposed that the ancient Earth was about the same size predicted by the reduced gravity Earth. Both theories predict the same astonishing conclusion using completely different reasoning and evidence. And then he publishes, he wrote this book called Dinosaurs and Expanding Earth, and the original concepts in the book have now received praise and support from a number of people. And then I played this video already. So that's the kind of reduced gravity. Then we've already kind of covered the expanding Earth with Dr. James Maxlow's thing, but there's a kind of a quick sort of another 3D model right here that's kind of cool.
Okay, if you could zoom in as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because the page is just one little thingy there. All right.
How's that?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, because I definitely think there's something to the expanding Earth, and then also the dinosaurs, the gravity change, having just larger objects,
Right.
larger animals.
Yeah, that's the most solid evidence. So then, Andrew Johnson kind of goes into like why is the Earth expanding, and he kind of covers that Earth is a capacitor, and then this is where I kind of maybe struggle to kind of explain why the Earth is a capacitor, but let me go back to his book. He goes over a pulsating Earth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some Earth expansion explanations have been put forward by Max Low, and others are a pulsating Earth, where cyclic expansion of the Earth is said to have opened the oceans and contractions having caused mountains to form. Meteoric and asteroid accretion. Expansion is caused by an accumulation of extraterrestrial debris over time. Constant Earth mass with phase changes of an originally superdense core. Change reduction in value of the universal gravitational constant G. A cosmological cause resulting in an increase in the mass of the Earth. Martin J. Herndon has proposed a whole Earth decompression dynamics theory. And then he on Dr. James Macklow's website, he has a good website. He gives problems with all of these theories, but this isn't the one I normally.
Right. Which website are you looking for?
It was Dr. James Macklow's website that this is the one I know. It's called expansiontectonics.com. This is the one I normally go to that goes through all of his research. So this kind of goes through his what we just saw in his 3D models. So this is kind of where I'm maybe going to struggle to explain the different ways that the Earth is expanding. But Andrew Johnson goes over that Earth is a capacitor, and then
yeah, that was a diagram I used. The cold
right.
fusion taken in from like radiation from
Yeah.
the atmosphere and just creating new elements.
Yeah.
Solar wind, electrons, proton ions going in somehow.
Right. So I don't have any videos really explaining this part of the book.
Mm-hmm. All right. But yeah, so the how it's expanding, that's still up for question. But
Right.
I do think it is expanding. I do need to look at the plate tectonics exactly to see what their counter claims are and whatnot. Be interesting to.
Yeah. So if you watch the Dr. James Macklow's presentation, yes, the Earth is expanding. He goes over kind of that theory and then his theory and then why his is better, why his fits, and all the holes in the plate tectonics theory. So that's one of the best presentations I'd recommend to start with. That has the most solid evidence. You get a PhD geologist explaining it, and sort of have the most concrete evidence that I've seen to date.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, And again, a part of my litmus test would be if he's still around, ask him by 9/11, see what its thoughts are.
Well, he's gotten a huge amount of flack for even just saying the Earth is expanding. Everyone, you say this is like everyone says, just because one geologist says the Earth is expanding doesn't disprove everyone else saying it's not. So whenever I even quote him in regular circles saying that the Earth is expanding, I get sort of the same kind of controlled opposition as saying that the towers turn to dust.
Mm-hmm.
The same kind of people pop out of nowhere. All of a sudden, there's experts saying, no, this isn't the case. And they really you can almost tell that they're sort of bots, because no one's going to take this amount of time to reply this many times or just to a stranger just to kind of disprove you. I don't know. Maybe there are people like that on the internet, but you can almost tell when you're talking with a bot.
Yeah, and you could check their track record too, see what their comments are. It's usually the same thing.
This was on my TikTok that I would argue with them, so I don't have any of my evidence anymore of the people I was discussing with.
Yeah, and your TikTok got banned, you said multiple times, and it was because of 9/11, or what's the reasoning?
It was because of 9/11. I posted some of the plane videos. I think it was 9/11 revisionist Pentagon video, the Pentagon one that did it.
Wow. 9/11 versus.
Yeah, they don't like they don't like saying that the planes are fake.
Yeah, and his Odyssey got removed, I think, for copyright or some other.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. The only one I recommend for like long term, it's a small one. It's at 3Speak. It's on the Hive blockchain, so that's gonna be a potential just to preserve videos. But obviously, the current one at Rumbles doesn't censor much right now.
No, I think Telegram is the best one overall. They never do anything. They're the best for free speech, hands down.
But unlike the other ones, it's not a news feed, so you would have to know about the person's channel already.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like semi-direct messaging.
Right.
So it's not where anyone can go and just here's what's trending. So that's the thing. That's why it's a bit more. It's a bit more free. But the thing is, it's free, but not many people are looking at it.
Yeah.
Whereas TikTok and them, you have a chance to go viral.
Yeah. There's no viral on Telegram.
Yeah. So like I had that one video just on my Eric Laithwaite video, just go viral, more views and like probably 10 times more views than all of my Telegram combined.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no view count or money involved with Telegram either. Whereas like Rumble and YouTube and stuff, you have the chance to make money. No one's making money with.
Yeah, but not currently, but you can eventually they will. I think because they're starting to roll out ads on you can pay for ads or pay for premium.
Yeah, you can pay for premium right now.
And they also have their own crypto token, that TON. They have that.
Oh, they came out with one for Telegram.
Yeah, and it blew up. I didn't get any, but they have a lot of apps you can buy. So you can go on. It's TON Coin. TON Coin is the Telegram one. TON.
Yeah.
And it's at 19 billion market cap, so it's giant.
Wow. Yeah, I have a Telegram group with around 400 or 500 people in it.
It's your crypto trading one.
Yeah. So but I've never monetized it really. I was using it for affiliate links, and I've made a good amount of money from doing affiliate links from it, but it wasn't directly from the group. It was more of a offshoot of combined of me directly messaging people, and my group was just kind of where people congregate afterwards. And so I've made a good amount of money doing it that way, but I've never actually made money monetizing the group.
Okay. There isn't an option right now on Telegram, but directly, but that's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they might have in the works. And also speaking about Telegram, and free speech, so 9/11 Revisionist does have a pretty epic Telegram His 9/11,
Yeah.
September 11 deprogramming. It's probably one of the best ones. It's probably
Yeah.
it's the best one out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got literally packed with.
I actually mentioned to him the other day that I wanted to make a, sometimes on Telegram channels they'll have like an index of like sort of his group. I wanted to make an index of all the sort of like important documentaries that you could kind of like walk through, where you'd have like Dr. Wood's presentations
Oh, that'd
kind
be
of
cool.
first, and like the documentaries is kind of second. I was talking to him about that recently, about maybe having a sort of kind of a walkthrough kind of way to pursue the information in it, because it's a lot that goes in there.
Yeah, that's a great idea actually. If you can make it that, if you make it, I can upload it as well on my channel, or I can make it.
Yeah.
Just goes walk
Because-
through all of them.
What would you? I'd probably recommend her conference at Breakthrough Energy Movement first,
Yeah.
and then
That's a good one.
I think she had a couple other ones, and then probably the 9/11 observable evidence, liars for truth, 9/11 alchemy, irrefutable.tv. Just kind of those ones are kind of like the must watches. But obviously reading her book, but it's tough to get people to order a book and read it these days.
Yeah, and also she doesn't want people downloading the PDF, the illegal, the bootleg one. So we can't send that one unless I get into contact with her.
If I have a way, I don't think I have any books down here, but there's a way you can print out books. It's called bookbinder.jar, where it'll print out different signatures. So you print out around 8 pages at a time. And then I have this way to, because I printed out a bunch of Andrew Johnson's books and stuff like this. And then after you print out each signature, you fold it in half. It would be around 7 or 8 pages for each one. And then I take a drill, and after they're all together, I'll drill 3 holes through it, and then put a zip tie as the binder.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I have a printer that you can print pretty cheaply. And then you'd have books that you could give away that way.
Okay,
so
that's pretty epic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, selling bootleg books. That's pretty cool.
Well, no, it would be ones that like you could, if imagine being able. Do you have like those little free libraries around you where like you can drop books and people like just take a book, leave a book?
Oh, that I'm not sure about that. I think I have heard of it, but I don't know one around me.
So like if you wanted to like drop a bunch of copies of, Where Did the Towers Go, in one of those libraries, you could have, and it'll stand out too because people will like, what's this book that has, pink zip ties binding?
Yeah. That is pretty epic. All right.
Yeah.
And let's see the links there. Do you have anything else to cover on the expanded Earth or so on?
Not really. I tried, doing my best on explaining everything. I know it probably wasn't like the most professional.
Yeah. Well, here's that website there. I'll share my screen. I just want to go over it and see what your thoughts are on this one, just to give me a head start on this. This is the one that 9/11 revisionists sent. The ones that saying the dinosaurs are fake.
Okay. Yeah. Let's look at it.
I'll share my screen, and then I haven't looked at it until now, but the guy does give me some controlled opposition vibes. And his agent 1317. Okay, this one right here. Dismiss. Yeah. So this one here I've spent.
Fake, huh?
Yeah, this guy. You can see the Substack. You can see his agent glasses and hat. Agent 131711. I've spent many years investigating diabolic government spraying operations, geoengineering, and secret human experimentation. All right.
Yeah.
And he's got 1,000+ subscribers. He's an agent. And he has this dinosaurs are fake mumbo jumbo, follow the money. Well, the world rulers print money, so you follow it. Everything you follow, you go find where anyone's paycheck goes. They run it. They run everything.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, let's just see. I just want to see what stuff he has here. Okay. Dinosaurs are fake. Pletosaurus. Okay.
When was this published? When did he come out with like saying this? What was
This
the
is
first?
July 5th. This is yesterday. Well, this one's yesterday. I just want
No,
to see.
but when did he first come out with this theory? Does it say? Like, when did he start posting about this?
Okay,
What year?
Well, let's check his oldest stuff right here. It's gonna be super recent because the guy does look like he's a professional at this, at the posting.
Yeah.
Usually, what I found, the real scientist ones have no idea how to post. Like, for example, Judy Wood's website, it's really bad, like the way it's designed, and
Yeah.
she didn't even make it. Andrew Johnson had to make it.
Oh, she didn't make her old site?
Well, I think she got help. No, I think she had. She got help with Andrew Johnson on how to.
Oh
set it
yeah,
up.
yeah. Well, I believe that.
Yeah, because he pretty much runs even where the towers go. When you order a book from the website, he is the one that prints it out. And
Oh, really?
I think he
had him sign the book I ordered.
I think he does a lot of the stuff. So he's the one who ships it. And I think there's a service now in the UK where they just you just have the book ready and then they'll come and package and send it. I think he does.
Yeah,
Thing. I'm not sure.
When you order his books, he's like, if you want a signed copy, leave a note in the comments.
Oh, I should have. That. I'll do that next time because I buy like books every year and then give it to people. So August 9th, 2023 is when he arrived. This is when he created his account. And then right away he's talking about chemtrails and he posts like every other day or so. Anyways.
So sometimes this kind of stuff seems like clickbait almost, where like.
Yeah, you can see that mode. Are you? Yeah, you can see my screen. Okay, as long as you see.
Yeah, I can. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, so you can see because what I've found out is it's not that easy to have someone like this professional. Just the way the thumbnails are. All right, so this is part 2. We'll see is part 1. Dinosaurs are fake edition. If you haven't read the series I published earlier this year, they call it Dinosaur Hoax. Definitely read that first because it was a thorough researching. Okay, so this is published earlier, Dinosaur Hoax. I just want to see what his main argument is. And the scientist, a man of science, science god. Yeah, that's the Freemasonic belief system, but sometimes I find control opposition. They use religion as like a cover for a cover to spread disinfo. Anyways, Dinosaur Hoax. Let's just look closely. Uncanny ability to identify animals from a few random bones. Okay. Let's see, Carnegie. Yeah, obviously the dinosaur could be fake and stuff. I just want to know what's the actual evidence. Like 9/11, the towers turned to dust. You can literally see the before and after photos. That's
right.
Evidence. That's irrefutable evidence.
What are they claiming that people are finding when they're digging up these bones?
Okay, so I want to see how this looks. Not all. Yeah, so he's saying government entities. I just want to know what's the actual reason. Okay, so they got the flat earther guy here. That was that.
I've read that they're trying to hide like bones of like giant humans that used to exist. I've heard rumors of that and that kind of things.
Okay,
Yeah.
So we've never seen a real dinosaur bone. This guy says because they're radioactive. So for protection, we can only see replicas. 2-minute are highly radioactive. Because of this, the bones displayed in museums are covered in. Is that true? We've never seen. Here's a good thing I do. Okay, I'll do a couple things. How accurate is this statement? Okay. Ask ChatGPT. We're doing live research right now. We have a few minutes because I just want to see what it is. Okay, real dinosaur bones museum. Many museums display real dinosaur bones, although it is common to use replicas, so they do use real ones. Dinosaur bones are not highly inherently radioactive. Fossils, including dinosaurs, can sometimes contain trace amounts of radioactive. The primary reason for using replicas is okay. So the radioactive one is ChatGPT says that's not a real reason.
Right.
So I don't know what they're making it seem like. That's the reason. We've never seen dinosaur because every bone in the museums are fake because they're radioactive. So this is
just because they create replicas doesn't mean they didn't find ones just like it originally.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like,
But the claim that he's making right here, he's saying that there's radioactive.
If you just Google this, this is like what Google considers.
Can you hear the audio or no?
I can't
Fact.
now.
I have to share the tab. Okay, this is the only downside about sharing.
Do I need to shut off mine?
No,
or
it's
something?
mine. It's mine. I wasn't sharing screen here.
They put it in the info as soon as you
I hear
Google
it now.
something. Most dinosaur bones discovered are highly radioactive. Because of this, the bones displayed in museums are covered with heavily leaded paint. Mainstream scientists explain this phenomenon by citing elemental uranium deposits in Colorado and Wyoming. These deposits were formed during the Jurassic Age. Okay, so let that sink in. So these bones are in the ground all the time. They're just always there. And they're not even bones, they're fossils. They're just imprints of where bones were. I'm just going with what they're saying. It's all nonsense. The deadly truth about paleontology. Paleontology may seem like a tame, safe science where only the studied objects are dead. But beware. They're saying that being a paleontologist can give you cancer because it's radioactive.
All right. Anyways, I just want to see where this quote is coming from. It seems most dinosaur bones because ChatGPT just gives the summary of the mainstream. So
Yeah.
So we're doing live research on the go, guys. Dinosaurs are highly. You can do a Google search with quotations. Are highly radioactive. Let's see where this comes from.
Did I ever send you this thing? I asked ChatGPT one time who is Math Easy Solutions, and it said who you were.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. So I'm looking at ChatGPT. Yeah, you did tell me about that. It was pretty good summary, but they forgot the conspiracy part. So if I Google here or pre-search, it says false. Most dinosaurs are not highly reactive, or heavily leaded. Most dinosaurs. This is a Quora message. They are not. Most dinosaurs. So that was a Quora answer.
I'm gonna see what
no,
dinosaur site that's.
because I think we found Owen Benjamin spreading a lie. Many dinosaurs are radioactive, Brainly, because of this. Okay, most okay, this is probably from a Brainly. Turbo comment. This is some random chemistry guy from 2008. Because of this, are usually C answer. Whatever radioactive some might be. What is this? This is some random. This is answered. It's incorrect. Okay, so AI generated answer is incorrect. It was just a random comment. I'm trying to find what that source is. This is how I do my research. Okay, so dinosaurs are not radioactive. Okay, because of this. This is a forum. Let's see this one here. Okay, so this guy says, so I'm watching Ancient Aliens, and somebody said when you see dinosaurs and bones, they are painted with some sort of lead paint because a lot of bones are radioactive. And I did find this. Where's this coming from? Preparation. Some of them highly so. Why are some? Okay, this is an interesting radioactive. Dinosaurs. It's not talking about dinosaurs. Yeah. Anyway, sorry about that. I'm just jumping into this. Depends if they. Oh yeah. Where is this coming from? This article. Okay. Most dinosaurs are radioactive. Many. This is a question. Why were some? Why are they radioactive sometimes? Okay, so it's so you can only find them in forums and random stuff. So the claim that most is false. It's just many are or some are, and nonetheless, museums have real. Some of them have real bones. So what I mean, basically, what I'm trying to get at is, oh no, sorry, I wasn't. You didn't see my screen. Let me know when I'm talking and you're not seeing what I'm seeing. Yeah. So yeah.
I'm looking at your
No, you weren't. I was on a different. I was searching up here. Most dinosaurs. No, because I need to share each to play audio. I need to show the tab on my thingy because I'm not sharing the whole screen. So sorry about that. So basically, I was doing a search. Most dinosaurs are radioactive. As you can see, false. AI says false. Go to ChatGPT. It says statements. Every bone of dinosaur is fake. Is because the real ones are radioactive is inaccurate. Real dinosaurs are in museums. Radioactivity. Dinosaurs are not inherently radioactive. Fossils including dinosaurs contain trace amounts of radioactive elements, but it's generally not at the level posed significant health risk. And the primary reason for using replicas is to protect fragile original bones and to allow more people to see. So basically, yeah, if I'm typing or if I'm looking at stuff, saying stuff, but then I'm not showing anything, I forgot to switch window. But right now I'm sharing the whole window, so you can see everything. But
Okay.
But for some reason, when I play audio, I need to share a tab. Like, am I making sense? A tab.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I had it on here, and then I had it on here, but to play tab, to play the audio, and then once I switched, I forgot to switch back. Like once I got here. So, anyways, most discovered are okay. Okay, so I found one here. So I found one article. This is Jew World Order. Okay, so most dinosaurs. So wait, did Owen Benjamin reference this article? No way. He referenced Jew World Order article, and he didn't reference who said that. I gotta find. Okay, so we got.
So a lot of those people that promote the kind of like the Israel was behind 9/11 and stuff promote the explosives theory at the same time.
Yeah, that's usually how it is. You need all set up, and the other part is easily. It's how the public perceives them.
Yeah.
It's perceived as a bunch of.
I've been anyone who says that Israel's behind it, I direct them to the 9/11 alchemy video and say,
yeah,
like this does a deep dive into the dancing Israelis or whatever, because.
Yeah, and it shows that it's a dancing Austrians that.
Yeah.
A bunch of nudist artists, and yeah. So this person trashed me here because so the number I told you, Melissa Doi video.
Yeah.
It went viral because 9/11 Archive posted it, and then all the comments says I don't know if any other link. The guy who put the people were saying, hey, why are you sharing this guy's conspiracy video? This video is made by a conspiracy person.
Yeah.
And then they banned me for replying. All I said was they were saying, hey, this guy's saying that there was alleged plane, alleged fire, etc. And I said I never said alleged fire. I said alleged flaming inferno. Anyways.
They banned you from 9/11 Archive?
Yeah, I never posted. All I did was reply to people asking me questions. They say, hey, so you're saying it's alleged, whatever it was. I'm like, yeah, it's a directed energy weapon. And they banned me for saying that because.
Oh yeah.
And
I got a 1 week ban one already, but they permanently banned you, or did they give you a 1 week ban?
Okay. No, this one they had me a week ban. I think I could comment. No, I can comment now. Okay, Nyla Rizzo says just correction. E-Team and Gelatin guys were Austrian. Yeah, they were the Austrian ones, but yeah, the Israelis were the ones dancing. Yeah. Sorry about that mistake, but anyways, yeah, they're dancing. Doesn't mean they know how to use direct energy weapons.
Because there was a post there recently that was saying like, can someone please explain how the planes can fly 590 miles per hour? And someone posted that on 9/11 Archive, and then I just direct messaged him like Mark's blog, because you can't reply or say anything beyond the mainstream narrative on that sub. But I posted there the WTC fumes from space next to Hurricane Aaron, just the raw image of it, and it got downvoted to 0. And then someone accused me of spreading a virus because I shared a link that downloads a TIFF image from NASA.
Okay.
So it didn't go great, but I kind of wanted to send a post the seismic data on there and just leave it at that. Just post the seismic data. Don't say anything else, and see what people say, because I don't think anyone's done that yet.
Yeah,
and then see how they explain it.
Definitely, and then you can see the comments right here. You can see my screen.
Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah, I think. You were saying it. Okay, so this one here is my screen. Yeah, so this one here, I got downvotes for everything. He said, wait, before you're banned, did you say she was a victim of some kind of government weapon? And I'm like, yes, blah, blah, blah. And I show the before and after photos. Like, this is literally irrefutable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're going to get banned sharing stuff like that. I got banned for saying that I was talking, because they post the jumpers all the time on that video. And I was like, these people were being microwaved alive by a directed energy weapon, and then that's why that's why a ton of people jumped in 102 minutes. Normally, people wait to try to get saved. They don't just jump out of burning buildings the way that they did, and then they gave me a 1-week ban for just mentioning Dr. Wood and saying that they were being microwaved alive.
Yeah.
Because there's jumper videos on that sub like every day, like people posting like different angles of people jumping and stuff.
Yeah, no, I've heard firemen testimony saying that they've never seen that in their life, or like they've seen maybe one or two, but never jumping to die. Like they're usually, if they're jumping, there's usually someone there to try to catch them, and it's not that high. It's like they're trying to survive.
Yeah.
This is wow.
Because think about how quick 102 minutes. It's less than 2 hours that these people were just deciding to commit suicide, basically, and then they're standing near the hole, which was like where the plane hit, and then it's they can stand next to it, which it wasn't hot. You know what I mean? People kept saying on this sub that they were burning alive. That's why they jumped, but then they wouldn't be standing in that hole, in the airplane shaped hole for.
Yeah. And then they're all also taking their clothes off. Some of them.
Yeah, yeah.
While they're hanging on, they're like.
One guy was removing his pants. He was taking his pants off outside the building.
Yeah, that is wild. Yeah, the whole thing is just ridiculous. And also, Nile Vision has just sent a message saying that he had a forced face reveal on Thursday podcast. I just want to see this.
Oh, I'm completely out in the open now, Mike.
Yeah. What's the timestamp? Nile Visionist. Oh, there it is. It was there he is.
Oh, I've never seen his face. Are we going to show it right now?
I see his face.
Yeah. No, don't make him do that. He doesn't want to show it.
Well, he sent a link. He sent a link.
Oh.
You all need to check my face reveal podcast from Thursday. All right, so he went from not showing his face to becoming posting on IG and all this.
Well, I'll check it privately. Yeah, I know he doesn't want to show it.
No, he just says he wants to show it. Okay, so there he is. He says he wants it.
Which one is he, left or right?
Is the right one.
Oh.
9/11 revisionist. I'll switch tabs so you can hear him speak as well. You can see present something else. So this is where I need to go here, and we'll play the audio.
Okay, you should be able to hear it now. So let's quickly get that going.
Oh, there's his South
TTC ones in
Skype today, where we'd usually use a different platform. So we're just kind of getting used to that as well. So bear with us.
This one's now the revisionist.
Okay, you should be able to hear it now. So let's quickly get that going.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
The lobby, and the lobby was 3 stories high.
All right, yeah. I don't know.
I guess,
yeah. For some reason, it does 9/11. It doesn't seem like matches his accent. The accent seems like Sean.
I have one other South African friend, and he kind of looks like. Well, I guess not, but he talks the same.
Yeah. For some reason, the accent made me think of this Sean Connery. You know, the old Batman guy. That's the kind of accent that I was thinking about.
Yeah.
I'll go back here. Sean Connery. So 9/11 revisionist accent, Sean Connery. I think that is the name, Sean Connery. You might have seen him. This guy here, I thought he was Batman for a second. His accent, like a South African Batman. So that's the accent that I initially, before the face reveal, I thought he was going to look like us. All right. We found out this is a 9/11 revisionist. All right, pretty epic stuff. Actually, I want to continue on this one. I just wanted to see. Okay, so this one here, it's like I want to share. No way did he actually share that Jew World Order one here. Susan, Occupy Corporatism. Okay, this is Occupy Corporatism.
For some reason, I think Israel is putting out a lot of this anti, Semitic stuff.
Well, it drives home the point that cause the whole point of Israel is to feel like a victim, but like for the people, just so them they can support them more and more. Because they're also being used as pawns for global war. But yeah, so this one here, no way did he reference this one. I cannot believe this. I cannot believe. Where did he get this from? If I search it right here, because this is like a pretty ridiculous, outlandish one right here. Okay, so there's, just want to check here, mainstream. And let's see another one. And then if you can see their photo right here, or their tab photo, they have a photo of Jesus, actually. I think kicking the money changers out. It's hard to see it right here. Okay, here's just the mainstream articles. So there is no article on that. Yeah, there's literally no article on this one where we've never seen real dinosaur bone. They're radioactive. Okay, so that's disinfo, and Owen Benjamin is not going back here. He's not specifying who this article's from. July 14th, 2017. This was May 13, 2012. So this article predates the one he was sharing. All right.
2012.
Okay, so this is July 14th, 2017 that he's referencing. You see my screen? You see it's kind of hard to see. I'll make it bigger. Okay, so there it is, 2017. He's referencing an article from there. That's the date on it. But this is fake news for the Zionist agenda. It says fake news. This is May 13, 2012 that has that same wording, same article. And it's from Jew World Order, so it's not a real website, not a mainstream website. So, and that's 2012. So, there's no other way around it. Owen Benjamin is losing his mind. It's spreading this info. And this website's sharing it.
I know that this one guy is saying that they're fake. Does anyone else back him up and say, like, like right now, Andrew Johnson posted about the half gravity theory, and I can go to other people who back them up who have credentials that are scientists. Does this guy have any credentials? Does he have like a PhD in anything or anything?
Well, I've never looked at that. This is the first time I'm seeing it right now. But what I do is I just look at a claim or a big claim, and then check if it's real. I did that with Ashton Forbes, the MH370.
Yeah.
I looked at a claim and then see if I can find if it's right, wrong, or lying, and automatically I find out he's lying. This one is from this 5 minutes. This is pretty much solid proof he's lying. All right. This guy says Angelo says Matthew, so check my work, the physical mathematics and geometry of dialectic materialism versus the Euclidean mathematics and geometry philosophical idealism. All right, that's a wordful. That's pretty epic stuff there. How do I view channel activity? I can't see that. All right, how do I view your stuff here? Okay, this is a gravitational paradox and proposed experiment. Yeah, I'll have a look at that next time. I'll see your channels on YouTube. The fastest way is YouTube. And this Mexican luchador. You gotta find what's your YouTube. No, this is YouTube. Oh my goodness, YouTube is just so bad. Okay, I'll look at it later. Anyways, I can't find your link there. Anyways, thanks for the donation, Maggie, at $2. All right, that's all for this one. Is there anything else you want to chime in?
No, not really. I gave you a bunch of links to share that are like cool to kind of deep dive more, and then I shared a bunch of books in there too to kind of if you wanted to research more in this topic, because it's hard for me to explain everything in a stream without actually reading the evidence and kind of boring through the data yourself, All
right, yeah, I put it right here. So links for Methyl. This is Voyage Hollow Earth. I'll close some stuff on the right so I could see it better. Close tabs. All right. So Voyage. This is Voyage to Hollow Earth. This is this person here that was trying to.
Yeah, that was the first 2007 expedition.
Yeah, and there's a Neil Adams one. That was an interesting one. And there is Voyager, David Pratt. I'll open a whole bunch and have a look. Smokey got Bollock Spot. There's North Pole Expedition. Stuff don't know about. I think you've shared that one. And there's the Maxwell playlist. All the links will be here, guys.
Yeah.
Expansion, tectonics.
The Maxwell's presentation. If you watch that one and then go through the Dino X site, that will give you a pretty good grasp on what we just talked about and to review it yourself,
Yeah, definitely. So that's the thing. I like stuff that has like very little assumptions. Like the Dinosaur one, low gravity. That's pretty good. That's just like one assumption, and things fit in. This one, Earth smaller. these continents fit in. So like that's a very simple.
Yeah.
You can grasp it there. And also another point here that he said here is that as it's expanding from the let's go back here. I think I'll go back here. So as it's expanding, he says you could see streaks on the ocean bed as if it was like actually being stretched. So this part right here, it looks like it's actually being stretched. Yeah. So so from these those are the expansion zones. All right. Rotator motion, another $2. Epic stuff, guys. Thanks for throwing money at us. All right. Let's see this right here, and I just want to see. Yeah, this
and
one.
You have to remove those fault lines to make the continents fit together too.
Yeah.
So that that's all the more reason that there's water coming from the underground oceans up to our previous oceans.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So that's a good point you made. So yes, to make these fit, you need to remove these fault lines. When you remove them is when they fit. So and it looks like here it is drift. It looks like it's being drifted outwards. From these zones right there. That's
like it makes sense that there's water coming up in between them and not one continent just kind of drifting aimlessly through the water. Like you can't just drift continents through the ocean, or having water come up from one and then like being replaced on the other side. That doesn't seem plausible either, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and here's the. It looks like it's expanding too. This is from the Neil Adams. And for those who don't know, Neil Adams is that comic book. Neil Adams wiki. He's that.
I think he died last year. I think Neil Adams.
Oh, died April 28, 2022.
Yeah, or a couple of years ago.
Yeah, so he was a comic book designer and artist. And I think he did. Which ones did he do? See some of his art. Ben K.
How did he die? Does it say? Does he say how he died? I always wonder how people in this space die.
Personal that died at the age of 80. He's 80. Marilyn's wife told Adam died from complications of sepsis. Life-threatening condition that arises. Infection causes injury to its own tissues. Okay, might be.
Sepsis.
Might be.
You can combat sepsis with IV vitamin C. There's a way to. If you ever go to the hospital, you can demand. They won't do it unless you demand it. But there's a way to request an IV for vitamin C that will combat sepsis. I'm dealing with that with my grandfather right now. He was in the hospital the other day, and I printed out all these things on how to IV vitamin C in a hospital setting. I was handing it to everyone, and they still wouldn't do it.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, because you did tell me you have a bunch of health cure info.
Oh yeah. I could talk a lot more confidently about that stuff than the Earth stuff.
Oh yeah, well, that could be for another live stream as well. And and here I'm just one person I'm trying to get on the live stream is actually I met him up. He lives in near me, like a few hours, an hour drive from me. It was John Hutchison's old friend that used to do experiment. Like that was with John when they were doing the 1980s, 1990s experiments.
Oh wow, huh?
Yeah. He had a lot of stories to tell. It was absolutely amazing. Yeah. So he was there, and he said that Boeing offered John and his team all $1 million each just to do the experiments and just do that and play around with whatnot. But then he said John said he just doesn't want to do it.
Why not?
John's
he's a character.
Yeah, he's like antisocial. Like he has that social anxiety disorder. You heard about that or no? Did you hear about it or no? So he was his experiments. He was funded by the Canadian government.
I remember him being like homebound or something. That like he and he got a bunch of grant money or something like that.
Yeah, so he was getting disability pay from the government for because he had so he couldn't work in a public setting with people. He gets anxiety and so on.
I'm surprised the government just gives you money to do whatever you want for that.
Well, he was disabled. You don't get that much, but you get just like an allowance.
Yeah. But he was able to buy all this surplus military equipment and do all these experiments, you know.
Oh yeah, but what he told me that the surplus ones in Vancouver, where I'm at, he says all the junkyards, they all had a whole bunch of these like abandoned ships, ship equipment, and so on. And,
okay.
And he also worked at at one of the. I think he worked at one of the places where all he did was dismantle warships. So he'd actually go into the warships and dismantle them all, and that would be his job. But also he would get a whole bunch of stuff from surplus. And one of the stories that his friend told me, which I'm trying to get on the live stream, but he's doesn't want to. He may not want to do it.
Have you ever read Andrew Johnson's 9/11 Handling the Truth? It was on Dr. Wood's old site, but it goes through all the research into the Hutchinson effect at the time that he could find, and all these old websites that goes through his raid and all the research at the time.
Interesting. You said handling is. I've seen the books Finding the Truth and Holding the Truth.
If you go to what is it? 9/11 Revisionist Telegram. I posted it on there. It was called Handling the Truth. And it's a website. It's a link to Dr. Wood's old site, but it goes through all this cool research. And a lot of the websites are down. You have to go through the Wayback Machine to kind of see the websites. But if you go to there, then go to the Hutchinson Effect, and then or search for Handling the Truth.
Just search handling. Write up called Handling the Truth. All right, is it Holding the Truth? Handling the Truth? I can't. What is going on here?
Yeah, so go up a couple posts to my post before that.
Okay, and
yeah, right.
This one right here. Yeah. Okay, handling, and then you put you download that one there. So this.
Yeah, but no, the link right below that, it says Dr. Judy Wood handling. Yeah, click that one.
Okay, and yeah, Handling the Truth.
So it goes through all the research into because this is when they were just discovering the Hutchinson effect, and it goes through all these different websites, and it's a good read to browse through. I read through it and went through the websites briefly. I was trying to archive all the websites on this website downloader, and it got I like many of my projects, it's half completed.
Yeah, so what I usually do is I just I have an extension, just an archive one, just archive, and then if I ever need to find it again, I know where to find it. So just save 2 months ago.
The websites that he linked are down. You have to go through Wayback Machine and get the website. So I was trying to save those and a way to be able to browse them all easily instead of having to go through the Wayback Machine the whole time.
Well, yeah. What you can also do is in the Wayback Machine, you can view the archive from, let's say, so I'll search just one here.
Yeah.
And I'll view it from 2011, and then I could click the links, and all the links will be clicking from there. So let's say if you click on something here, Fetzer email, that just jumps here. I just want to click a link. Washington Post article. Okay, this should open up in the archive as well. So just go in web.archive. Instead of opening the actual link, it opens in the archive. Because this one wasn't archived. Actually, it was, I think. Let's refresh it.
Some of them were it was tough to look through all of them. It was work.
Yeah, but see what I just did here. So New Art of War. It's loading, but it's loading the archive. So if I go here, Washington Post, they might have changed the stuff here. It might be gone. Okay, it's still live. Okay. But do you understand what I just?
Yeah. And you can view them all that way.
Yeah, so you can view them without having to. So you can view them. Okay, this one is not reached. You have to search this one separately. Yeah. So nonetheless, you might still have to do that.
So I think about my what I was trying to do was go through each one and see, because they're blogs kind of. I wanted to archive the latest, most version of each one. And that way you could see all the updates. Because say if I go through the 2007 versions, they might have closed down in 2016. And I was trying to save all the latest ones.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah.
And then,
so I have a bunch of them saved, but there was a lot of links on that page.
A lot of epic stuff. Fetzer, and then Fetzer, I think he's in there before he was. To John Hutchinson, Fetzer, a lot of Fetzer stuff in here. Oh, This is from Fetzer to Judy Wood. Just between us, why didn't you send me a personal note when you noticed what you perceived to be a problem? All right, you can see the emails when Fetzer literally flipped. Unbelievable, guys.
Yeah, it's a great read. I recommend it highly.
Yeah, you can go see Fetzer literally switching up on Judy Wood live, real time.
Maybe put that in the links, so it's like that's something fun to read.
All right, I'll put that right here. Go to the end. Handling. Epic stuff. All right, let's see. Oh, I gotta log in. So so that's Hive keychain. So if you want to archive things forever, I definitely recommend on Hive, the Hive blockchain. So like I'm heavily invested in Hive. And you could also go, so like I have a community here, but the idea is all the text gets stored on the blockchain, and it's actually decentralized, unlike most blockchains.
Wow.
So it's like
kind of like what's that one that was
Steemit?
Steam or something like Steemit? Yeah.
Yeah. So
like
this is a fork of Steemit. Steam.
Oh, okay.
So Steam was actually taken over by. So I was on Steam. I was promoting it a lot. But then it was taken over by Justin Sun from Tron. You know, Tron, the Tron token, the $1 billion token.
Yeah.
So Justin Sun actually he colluded with Binance, like the exchanges.
Yeah.
Where people had Steam there, and then he used their Steam that was on the Steam blockchain, and then they used it to vote in all their own block producers. So
wow.
So then they took a monopoly on the blockchain, but then the community actually forked from Steam, and then they took all the funds that they had, and I think they just reversed it. So they reversed it and they locked up all that funds as part of a decentralized fund. So if you want to access it, you have to make a proposal, and then people vote on if you want to get that money, and then you can use it for whatever. So this example here, HBD stabilizer. This one they get 12,000 a day, but this is part of their stable coin. This one here gets 665. Or this guy's proposing to get 330 HBD, which is it's US dollar pegged stable coin that's algorithmic. So it's like backed by Hive. But it's the only stable coin that's maintained a dollar that's not backed by anything. Like you know USD Tether.
Yeah.
So this one is just
USDT or C.
Yeah, USDC is the USD coin. That's the American one. USD Tether.
Yeah.
I think they're both American, but USD Tether is the bigger one. But USDC is the newer one that's also gaining ground. But this one is it's backed by Hive, and it's been able to maintain peg, and it gives you 20% APY. So
wow.
Good. No, but the cool thing I want to point out is, so I have a MES conspiracy one. I have a 9/11 truth one as well. I post stuff like the articles or I put the link. So all the link to the links I put them here. So for example, your article here, and so all this text is on the Hive blockchain. All the text. All right. So this is immutable. So this will, even if the worst that someone could do is downvote. So the votes will go to zero. Like you can earn. They can take away the money you earn. But this one is 49 cents.
Yeah.
The half of them go to the voters and half of them go to the author. So I get 25 cents for that one.
Is the Steam currency? Because I remember being able to mine that when it first came out.
Well, you post. Yeah. I think you mine by posting. I think that's what it. Or,
no, but there was a way when they were maybe. Minting the tokens. There was a way to mine it initially first, and I have a bunch of coins from way back when that I could probably log into these old accounts. I'd have to dig out some hard drives.
Yeah, did you have well, it's worth 18 cents per coin. So what was your thing called?
2016. It was it would be user accounts. I didn't have a page.
Okay, what was your user account? But it's automatic.
Try Methylminer, see if Methylminer's on there. I forget. I have to dig out old hard drives.
Okay, Methylminer doesn't exist. Do you remember any
try Piracetam 101, maybe.
How do you spell it?
PIRACETAM.
PIR.
ACE
ACE
TAM
TAM
101.
101.
Yeah.
All right, so you have an account to see how much in your wallet. Yeah. Okay, your wallet is 4.4 Steam, so you have a $1 worth there.
All right, never mind.
5 Steam to BitDrex. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So what happened was.
A while ago I had it.
Yeah. So Steemit, you can see my Steemit. So the cool thing about this is, so here's my Steemit or Steemit at. So here's my Steemit, and then when they forked, I got. So there's Steemit. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, so there's my Steemit. I still post on DTube or whatever, and it automatically shares here. And so like all my old posts were on it, and then they forked the Hive, so everything's on. So all I do is just change it up to peak. And then the most of the community just moved over here, and the value is currently the same price as Steam, but it was like triple it. So
yeah.
Think about if you fork Bitcoin and then Bitcoin, then your token is worth as much as Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. So like this one was forked and it's as big as it, and there's no $1 billion backing.
Have you checked all your Bitcoin for all the forks to see if you have what was it, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Cash? There was Bitcoin Diamonds.
There's a whole bunch of that. Yeah, I had some
already.
Well, I started late on it, but I was able to get some of the Bitcoin Cash, so that was good.
Oh. Well, there was some since then. There was Bitcoin Gold and Diamond. If you can check, see if you have. And then there's airdrops that like will give you coins based on if you had Bitcoin at a certain time. Like when the airdrop started, you can claim. Like I think Hex was like that too. They have airdrops kind of based on your balance of your wallet at a certain date and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely got to check that. But I didn't have that much Bitcoin. Like my main thing is Hive. But Hive is like bear market still for it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Yeah. But yeah. So anyways, like I was saying, all the text is on here. I use it for all my text storage. Like I don't need to worry about all the notes getting deleted or whatnot.
All right.
For all time, anyways. So that is epic stuff there. And yeah, so I think we're gone in. How many hours is this?
We're at 3 right now.
Yeah, I'll zoom out so we can see. 3 hours, and yeah, thanks for joining. We have 13 viewers. I think we peaked at 25. All right.
Yeah.
So we had
it's holiday weekends.
Yeah. Oh, for you it is. Yeah, last week was for me.
Yeah.
All right, but it's all good. Anyways, so yeah, is there anything else you wanted to chime in and say
no,
to the...
I don't think so.
Yes. Anything else for the audience, guys? Thanks for joining. All right, told them thanks for joining, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. And this is a more chill live stream, and then in the future one we could do your health cures and so.
Yeah, I'd like to do the health one. Yeah,
that'd be epic. All right, and also if you can get in contact with your billionaire crypto people. Fund the operation.
All right, I will.
All right, sounds good. All right, have a good one. Or actually, I'll hang up the stream first. All right, guys, that's all for today, guys. Thanks for joining, and yeah. Stay tuned for next week and so on. And yeah, I'm gonna end the stream in 3, 2, 1, end. All right, yeah. So I ended the stream, and yeah, we could, yeah. So we're pretty much good to go. Yeah. So thanks for joining again. I'm gonna exit this.